Good evening, everybody. I am Dennis McCullough, and this is the Psychic RoundTable. Alicia will be joining you here in a few minutes because obviously my name is not Alicia. With us, we've gone live. We've gone live, Cass. Yeah, that's why you need to pay attention.
I didn't know you pulled us on yet.
But we were just playing the intro, Cass. I mean, come on. What else do you do after the intro? You go live.
Yeah, but then you normally pull us in one at a time. So it's like, oh.
Well, I didn't this time. I decided to make it just kind of change everything up. And so, anyway, starting up here in the according to my perspective in the Northeast, Nico O'Neill, a fork practitioner, from what I can see here. And then right down here we have Cass, Energy Vampire, and Wiccan. A lot of wicker furniture. Anyway, and we also down here in the underneath, right below me, but next to Cass, and caddy corner from Nico, we have Earl, Pagan Artist Spotlight. That's a long name. I hope that's not how you actually sign all your checks.
Nope.
It's not as bad as my name used to be.
What? Earl, Pagan Artist Spotlight?
Let's see here. Yeah, my name used to be 6 names long.
Oh, well. Yeah, and here I was proud of having a suffix. Anyway. So, I see we've already got 17 people watching. We are climbing those, and they're all on Facebook. Each and every single one of them are on Facebook. Now, I called them out, so now we have 15. Sorry. And so, I guess from what I was told, the subject tonight was all about energy vampirism, and I guess. So my next question there: energy vampirism. That's not blood, right?
No, that's sanguine vampirism.
Earl?
No. Basically, when you get into the energy and psychic aspect of vampirism, that's on a whole totally different level.
All right. And
I mean, they both deal with force, but they're different.
Like, how many different levels are we talking here? Are we talking between zombie and archlich? What level is the energy vampirism?
Based on the fact that we can actually do a bit more with it, I'd say
By the way, zombie being level 1, archlich being level 20.
Probably level 10, 11-ish.
Okay, so
the center,
ghouls. Ghouls, but not quite mummies.
Whereas a sanguine vamp, I want to say that they're lesser in any way. They're actually still really have a lot of power.
Yeah.
But
yep,
it's more difficult for them to feed. They are able to some of them are able to impart their energy into healing and stuff like that, and others, but not often. So it's they normally have around level 8, I would guess. Some are way above. Some are really powerful, but
I mean, according to less common, depending on how old they were. Yeah. What about you, Nico? Where do you think it falls on the D&D scale?
D&D scale? Oof.
That's where I came up with the zombie to archlich. Maybe I should have said Dracolich, but regardless,
I would probably agree with Cass. Probably about a 10 for psychic vampires. They're a little more versatile. Sanguine vampires are, if they're just sanguine,
true. A mixed one is a little bit more.
If they're not a practitioner. If they're also a practitioner, do energy work, that may be higher. But if they're just solely a sanguine vampire, probably a 6 or 7.
That's fair, yeah. I was assuming with practitioner, so that's why I said 8.
Because
most of the time when you find things like that about yourself, you lean into it.
blood magic is some potent stuff, and it is very.
It is.
I'm going to point out it looks like Earl is doing some dimension hopping right now.
Yeah,
So
kind of, sort of.
kind of, sort of. Okay. And so don't worry, Alicia will be over here at some point tonight. Until then, I generally tend to make bad jokes and, surprise people with going on air. Otherwise. So, yes, you claim to be one of these things. So,
yeah, it's less than I claim and more just I can't avoid it.
How do you feed?
So most of us energy vamps, the way we feed is we extend a part of our own energy to. A lot of times it's essentially to attack, but not always. To either gather ambient energy, the ones like leaked off from people, and that's like the ethical way to feed, and that's how I mostly feed. But then, if we need to get a deeper feed, we can essentially stab our energy into like the aura of the other person to get to their energy and start feeding off that.
There's a ghost behind me. Help.
Dennis, you
help.
want some dinner?
Yes, but help.
Okay, you get chicken and cheesy fries. Come on.
Oh, hold on, guys. Go ahead and
Num num.
go ahead.
Talk amongst yourselves. Num,
Yeah,
num,
go
num.
ahead and so, Earl, how do you feed?
Well, I don't really consider myself to be an energy vamp. I mean, I've been around those who are, and I know what can be done. I'm just not that kind of a person who would deliberately do that. Basically, now if it comes down to me purposely needing to do it towards a negative entity, I'll gladly,
just like how I can feed off of ghosts and stuff like that. That's why they stay away from me.
Basically, if it's something negative that I need to expel or whatnot, I'll gladly do it.
Yeah, and everyone feeds in a sort of form like energy vamps, but less aggressively and less necessarily. Like, because we normally either have a leak, a high energy metabolism, or some sort of damage that we're constantly healing. And so therefore we have to in part take more energy than we can. And a lot of us have a sort of like allergy or restriction with the energy types we can get.
Well, a good thing to mention is that when you have a back and forth with somebody, you are exchanging energy back and forth. So this is a regular and normal transaction that people have. And you don't have to be conscious that it's occurring. I would probably say that 90% of people that the pagan community says somebody is a psychic vampire, they don't know what it is, they probably don't practice, and they're not actively doing it.
That's why we have bad rep. Yep. And there, of course, there's also the non-ethical ones, which further increase that bad rep.
Right.
Those are the ones everybody's afraid of.
And it's like when, talking in a conversation, like I'm feeding off what's excess that's given off.
Nico, that is looking nice behind you.
Thank you.
And
is
that Amber?
Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Mom got off work late. So here we are. Now, you've all introduced yourselves, yeah? What you do?
Oh, yeah.
Nico? Okay, cool.
I'm the Witcher of the Forks.
That's what I was going to say.
I like that. Part of the reason why I decided on this topic for tonight, and I know it's a bit impromptu, so I appreciate y'all taking the time to come on. I got hit by a friend of mine. They got vamped, and then they turned around, came over to my house with all my crystals, my stones, and everything hanging down around my ankles, and hit me hard. It was so bad. I was so cold. I was under 2 blankets. I couldn't get warm. My mom had to come in and wrap me in a heating blanket and turn it on full blast.
They got hit really hard.
Somebody got them good.
Somebody got them really good, and then they came and got me, and they're like, I didn't. I'm like, look at me. Okay.
Yeah, because that's literally a secondary feed kind of thing. Because essentially, if you drain someone enough, they kind of turn into a pseudo vamp where they're like a temporary vamp and they're not able to control it because their body's like, we need energy.
Yeah.
You're trying to organize the energy around you to refill your reserves.
I traced the route back, and I figured out who hit my friend, and I know that person. They're not doing well. Bouts of insomnia, a lot of physical illnesses, just really wearing out.
Yep,
okay?
I know how that is.
But the problem is,
yeah, that's a kind of state that they're going to feed more drastically and at a higher volume.
Yep.
Actually, I wanted to speak a little bit about this while Earl and Nico and Cass are all on. That person that I mentioned that hit my buddy, they actually have an energy parasite that was sent to them and hatched out of their body.
That's the one?
It hung out with mommy. And it's a cool parasite and everything like that. And it actually seems somewhat sentient and seems to care about the host. But it was literally hatched out of mommy and it won't leave. So.
Interesting.
Parasitic entities.
Actually feed from it directly.
Yeah, I tried that.
Okay.
Didn't work out. This thing is
Iron shears.
What?
Iron shears.
I'm not sure if I want to be that drastic. It could probably actually be trained to be a protective device.
Oh, you're doing your discussion. I told you.
Don't worry. If my kid wasn't up with my mom, he'd be running through the background streaking, okay?
He had clothes on at least. That I did tell them is like, hey, I'm doing the thing.
Literally.
It's a current issue. Yeah.
Okay, literally. I mean, it used to be with me when I got in the door, my clothes went off. And Dennis when we first started dating, he was like, is this a rule? I'm like, oh, you don't have to. He's like, okay. And now my kid, whenever he comes in the door, it's...
Yeah, it's same here that... Like my boyfriend already was like, I don't know if you're wanting to be comfortable. If you want to go, like what's the signal for second?
It's comfort. It's comfort. I'll signal you. Don't worry about it.
And I'm like, okay, now I got to clarify every time I take clothes off.
Well, no, just put the lingerie on and then be like, this is the outfit.
Okay, that's a thought.
Yeah, it's all pretty intuitive though. It's like, no, I just want to be comfy. That this is how I'm comfy. We're going to have to just, vibe with that. But anyway, so I do believe the energy parasite could be trained to actually be a protectionary device.
Well, I mean, sentient spirits can be possibly reasoned with.
That parasite can be a filter like I am or not, because if so, then it can probably be focused on negative energies.
Yep. And this particular person has a lot of negative energy coming at them. They have to spend an hour a night doing their wards, okay? Every night. And they do not miss a night. I told you it's bad up here, Nico. Don't give me that look.
Damn.
But when I actually did have a chance to speak with the parasite, because this particular person got really sick. I mean, their health got really, really sick. And so I sat the parasite down like you would a little kid and went, okay, you know what? Mommy's going to get really sick and then she's going to die. Do you want that? No. Okay. So come on. Don't feed on her. 1, and 2, make yourself useful. See that person over there? That's a bad person. Go drain that person and give the energy to mommy. It actually did it. So it's not, I don't really just want to clip it off for her, but
yeah,
you got to retrain it because it is lazy.
Well, I mean, parasites kind of latch the easiest access.
Yeah, you could put it in like a spirit house, and then that way they can still have it, but it's not intentionally feeding off of them. And then you just have to explain it.
Grew it was sent her and grew out of her. So it is.
So removing it could cause actual damage to the aura.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
it's, Nico, it's literally, it's like, you know, the alien symbiote that's actually latched on to all the nerves and everything, okay? But it's more conscious, and it's actually, it doesn't want, it actually likes its host. So I could see a more symbiotic relationship, but that's for later in the program. So yeah, I got secondary hit, managed to trace it back, and I spoke to the girl. I'm very lucky. We're pretty cool, and I can talk to her about this. And she's like, I'm like, I'm not blaming you, but I am letting you know. We really need to do something about this, because this was just ridiculous. You know? So now I know, Cass, I had asked you originally to research the type of vamps, but I actually think a more generalized approach would be good. So you've got your natural vamp, the born this way, okay? And everything can stay away from them because they're like a shark. You have the occasional vamp that doesn't really need it, but will do it if it's necessary.
You were cutting it out. I couldn't understand you.
You have the born this way.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Everything stays away from them. They're like a shark. Okay. Spirits, everything goes away. The occasional vamp who doesn't need it but will do it if it's absolutely necessary, knows how. Okay. The parasitic vamp who basically is like, oh, I got like 3 people I can feed off of, and they have no idea. I'm just going to go back to them constantly. Okay. You have the aware vamp, somebody who's actually maliciously doing this.
Also called the awakened. Yep, that's actually the term in the community.
Okay, well, they're buttholes. So,
well, I'm an awakened vamp. Any that are aware and able to use their abilities are awakened.
Yeah, you're awake and aware, but you're not an asshole about it.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I'm not an asshole.
Okay, so there are aware asshole vamps and there are aware non-asshole vamps. How's that?
Yeah. Okay. That's why I use ethical and non-ethical.
Oh, I like that. Okay. All right. And then you have the unaware, the people that get sick, the people that don't have enough energy, that something happens and they have to feed, and this is their body's last defense.
They tend to be an emotional black hole.
Mm-hmm. Well, and actually not always.
Not always, true.
Some are pretty perky, but it's just this is their body's way of trying to survive.
Well, not so much that they like them being like depressed or all that. Like there is a lot that are. Those are the ones that are really in deep need. But more of that when you hang out with them, you feel drained. Even if it's like you and like 10 friends, you all feel drained.
I know. It's like, oh God.
It's the pick me friend, the one that's like, I need all of your attention and time.
A lot of like musicians, pretty much anyone that's on a stage. Pastors, politicians, they tend to be vamps because all that attention is food.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Okay. Now, quick question. What about like DJs at raves and stuff?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're the center of focus.
Yep. Okay. And then also they can, a lot of times they can influence their like put energy into the music to make it grab the energy back.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah, it's I worked a little bit with it, but it is
Earl.
And with your DJ here in the house.
Yeah, you're not tentacling, are you?
Huh?
You're not tentacling, are you, Earl?
Not tonight.
Oh, you tentacle during DJ events? Don't you dare do that shit at my fairs. God.
No, I know when I can get away with it. I know when I can do it and when not to. But at weddings, hell yeah, there's times that I will feed off the energy of the crowd and put that into the music and feed it right back to them.
That's interesting.
That's fair. Okay. It helps pump up the crowd.
Okay.
Yep. But I tend to not do anything, especially at fairs and whatnot, is I keep myself closed off.
Okay.
Because because of the fact that I've come away from some of the fairs I've done with migraines because I know darn well that somebody was attacking.
Well, attacking, summoning stuff they shouldn't, cleaning stuff and not getting rid of it properly. We have had so much crap. That's why we kind of have a remote energy worker on staff that nobody really knows about, just to make sure. No, Nico, it's bad. People are getting into this and they have no clue what they're doing. They're just like, and it's like, yeah, well, you just hosed 3 people, so you might want to get that love and light under control, you know?
Okay. No, our shop has the same issue.
Oh, really?
But they have a lot of staff, or the shops here have the same issue, but there's a lot of staff members that do energy work, and they're doing that in shop, or I'm one of the customers that does that.
Yeah.
But the lady that I was taught by was the OG customer that checked everybody's energy. And then her students, which is one of they're now store manager, me, and one other person kind of fix people when needed.
Now, one of the other things, now, Thor, Cass, you actually are able to filter any energy you get outside of Reiki, okay? Outside of
Reiki is...
Reiki is no go for you. No bueno.
Same with the other one. I can't remember what it was called.
Sishin?
Sishin, yeah.
Yeah, it's still a form of Reiki, but it's more protective and a little bit more aggressive from what I'm seeing. I'm going to look more into it, though. So
like I can filter most energies. Now, if it's really nasty, I can filter it, but it drains me a bit.
Okay. But you can still filter it. See, and I've known a couple other psychic vamps that can do that. They are just like, they're blessed.
We're not super common, but there's like maybe 20% of us.
Well, I think most of your born ones are they actually have the filter organ, the little psychic filter switch, because all the ones that have done it for like since they can remember, that's what I'm seeing. The ones that come in, the ones that come into it later or by accident, they don't have it. Okay, and it can really mess them up bad, because one of the things, if you don't have that filter, and this will even hit mediums from what I can see, psychic mediums. Nico knows what I'm going to say. What you're doing when you're sucking out somebody's energy, you're sucking out their mental, emotional, energetic, and physical problems. And if you don't have that filter, you are in deep shit.
Yes, you need a method to, like, an instantaneous filter next to you.
Yeah.
When you're doing energy work.
My question to you, Nico, is because a lot of times when somebody does not know what they're doing and they're feeding, there will be bleed back along the line, especially for me. Now, with some of my help, it's been the same way. Thor, you're not going to have this problem. When somebody tries to hit you, you'll be like, But for me, what'll happen, they'll plug into me, they'll pull, and I will all of a sudden get everything from them. I'll get their cravings. I will get their body pain. I'll even sometimes get distorted vision, and I get a lot of other nasty crap too. So, Nico, how do you set up a filter for the common, ordinary layperson? You can probably do a talisman, you can probably use a crystal, but I'm talking about a construct that will keep people separate, that energy separated. What?
Probably the easiest one I can think of is a good grounding technique.
I don't know of any filter, only grounding.
Yeah, the inhale white, exhale negativity, and then you're going to reach down, make roots with your feet, and then inhale, and then you're going to pull up. You can also pull up or pull down from the crown chakra, whichever way is more comfortable, but you're creating a channel of energy that you're pulling in consciously, and then they can
tap that. It doesn't work.
That one doesn't work.
Not even with like extra help, like with grounding stones, like Jasper and stuff like that.
Nothing. And that's the other thing. I have had psychic vamps, but if you think about it, the ones that are doing this, they're starving all the time. They punch right through almost everything.
Well, I'm
The other
I
one,
kind of emaciate myself a lot, but I still am not going to be aggressive.
if you're aware of the
And that's awesome.
tentacle
I appreciate it.
that's like penetrating, just cut it.
Okay.
Like, the mental image of a pair of scissors through a ribbon and
Yep.
just sever that tie on a like energetic level.
What
Yeah.
if you're not aware of it right away? You're only aware after the hangover kicks in, because
Call
there's
it-
always a psychic vamp hangover. There's that, you get really irritable, you're hungover, you're dried out, you can get physically sick. I mean, I know one lady, she watched me turn pale, turn like as white as Cass right now.
I would say
I'm not shitting you.
I know I'm
Right.
pale.
call your
I'm
power
literally
back.
my
So is my
foundation.
husband. Don't worry about it. So is my friend Hannah. She rocks 2 shades all year, tomato or
It kind
ghost.
of happens when you're allergic to the sun. You can't go out there.
Right. But no, she watched me turn completely pale during an attack.
Skin bleaching is a very common symptom of somebody having their energy
So-
leached.
There's actually something that a small research I had seen online that after someone had been fed from, they noticed actually a breakdown in their red blood cells.
Yeah,
like
you
after
can
in
see.
plasma.
Yeah, you can see little rosettes. Like you'll get little.
Mhm. Yeah, a super deep feed will actually cause physical damage.
Okay.
It'll burst little blood vessels. You'll get like little lines of irritation if like it was by like skin contact.
Okay. Most of these are not. They don't have to touch me.
Yeah, those like that was just they essentially just sucked in the room.
Hmm.
Is kind of what I'm imagining, where it's just like the black hole walked into a room and just gone.
I got hit while I was teaching. It was something I used to do. I don't do it anymore because it just got really weird. Art therapy class. It was at the shop, and people loved it. We were doing really well with it, but when I'm painting and stuff, and when I'm showing people how to do stuff, I forget to have my guard up.
Yeah, you're wide open
Because I enjoy it. I love what I do. That was one of the things Antoinette wanted me to mention. She couldn't be here. She's doing more Reiki. The girl's always busy. But she wanted me to mention, she's like, if you feel like it, never look somebody in the eye. Makes contact deeper. Also know when you're vulnerable. Okay. For some people, it's when they're having a good meal or when they're having a good conversation or when they're shopping for books or crystals. And, and a lot of these things were me too, but when I'm painting, I love it so much that I'm just like, yay. And they're like, yes. And I'm like, no. So
there's an upside and a downside to that, actually, because if someone really wants to feed from you either way, having your shield up makes them be more aggressive with it and actually cause more damage a lot of times.
Okay.
Whereas if your shields are lower, they can just kind of like skim and like scrape off the edges, which will still hurt and still pull from you, but it won't cause physical damage as often.
All the ones that I'm finding, no, they cause a lot of physical damage, and without the
They're
shield,
not caring about preserving the subject.
God, no, they don't care, and I don't even think they're conscious.
More likely, a lot of times the unconscious mind is very aggressive about the feed.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a lot of laid back stuff that I don't want. Okay, one lady that came to the classes was going to go cheat on her husband, and I got the bleed back off of that I didn't want.
So that's the thing. What you're getting there is actually because of your empathic nature.
Yeah, it's
because they are literally stabbing their energy into you, so you're able to read their energy.
But it's stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Her craving for
we leave
seafood.
bits behind sometimes.
Her craving for seafood, I was fine with. I went and ate a bunch of sushi that night. It was good too. Her body pain, I did not want. I have my own body pain, and that thing. Right, okay, guys, it was every man looked like a walking Happy Meal on legs to me that night. These are men I don't go for. Okay, guys. All right, I got a type. I stick to it.
That's the fun of being Pan.
Yeah, I mean, hey, go you. But for me, I am incredibly faithful. That's who I am.
Yeah, I completely get that.
This was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but you're aware that this isn't my thinking, but how do I stop it?
Yeah, I need to get this gone. And luckily I spoke with Antoinette, and she started scanning me. She thought I was joking at first, but she started scanning me, and she's like, my God. You know?
in some people, if either they're unconscious or they're really aggressive with their feed,
Mhm.
they can accidentally kind of leave like little barbs in you.
Yeah, they break off.
Yeah. They don't mean to. It's more of just those barbs are there to help make a bigger hole for a faster feed.
Like fishy spines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and in my case, when I'm out doing events, there's been many times that I have left that building totally drained of energy. And for the longest time, I just thought it was just because of how much work I was putting into it. But, you know, a lot of times, yeah, I forget to put my shields up. Then I walk out of there with no energy at all. It's like, fuck.
No, that something weird happens when I do vending events, and I finally figured out it's because of the empathic gifts. Dennis has been with me, and he didn't get it until I explained it more. I would be drinking constant cups of coffee because caffeine acts as a block
to ground you out.
But when the show was over, I would be in the bathroom sicker than a dog, and depending on the event is depending on how sick I got. And I'm talking everything's coming out. Okay. So, you know, how do I put this? Energetic filter, energetic shielding, energetic shielding. Yeah, you can do talismans, you can do crystals, but filters, the stones die out fast.
Mm-hmm.
They break down fast.
Yeah, I wish I knew a way to be able to give, like,
I mean, you can do a filter with like a shielding technique, but the problem is you're either going to have to consciously maintain it,
that's the other
or thing. Practice it long enough that you can put it up and then like it's just maintaining.
Here's my other question. Is there a way you can use a shield that tags into something else, like a star, for example?
Yeah. So when I mentioned earlier the grounding by channeling, that technique could be used to reinforce a shield or through like any element. So most witches, whether they're conscious about it or not, like actively do that when you're doing spell work. When you're calling in the corners or different deities, you're pulling that energy into you.
Okay.
So using that principle, you're turning yourself into a conduit, and this is part of the reason that I don't really worry about energy vampires, because you can sit there and pull all day. I'm fine. I don't care. And it's just that I maintain such a connectedness to the earth and to the energy around me that as fast as you're trying to pull, I'm replenishing.
Okay. Now my dad, he always did.
Sounds amazing. Infinite food sounds amazing.
Oh my God. Watch out, Nico. You just put yourself on the butcher counter going, no, but my dad, he always did this thing when anybody would try and read his mind, when they would try and pull off him. He was a huge migraine sufferer for the longest time. And there were times, I mean, you can't always just stop everything when you're a parent. You have to keep going. So my dad, being the stubborn ass Capricorn that he is, basically shut that part of his mind to the side. He compartmentalized it and kept moving. But every time somebody would try something, he'd lower that, and you would watch people around him turn white. They'd have to hang on to stuff because he was in so much pain all the time. And if you're not used to that, it's going to debilitate you. And so that's what he did. Although I've never figured out how to do that myself. Any ideas on that, Nico? Oh, Nora, are you getting uncomfortable? I'm sorry, dude.
I was thinking about like, that would probably work better with somebody that has like a chronic pain condition, because your at some part in your energetic body is the feeling of pain, and it's just pushing that to the front so that the first thing they're gonna taste when they're trying to tap you is just straight emotion. You could do that with an emotion too.
Yeah.
So
I thought you were talking about protecting the pain from the pain. That part's hard for me. But yeah, you literally like you focus on the pain, and like send it just like an energy.
Yeah, because keep in mind that when they tap you, it's a two-way street.
Yeah, I know. So give me a visual of how that would look. I'm a very visual person, so give me a visual, guys. And give our audience a nice visual, because you know what? Vampires like Cass, I like. You're trying to do the right thing, and I'm all for it, and I'll support you for as long as the day is long. But the people that do this just to be buttholes about it, because it causes a lot of damage.
A lot of them are stuck in the power trip.
Well,
so let's say you're somewhere like a metaphysical shop, you're open, you're comfortable. Somebody's like mean mugging you, like real hard. Like you can feel like they're tugging.
Most don't
I'm
mean
wondering-
mug. They're sweet. They're nice.
Well, yeah, they're
Lovely.
super charismatic and trying to talk to you. Like they're trying to get you to actively give that energy to them. One of the easiest things you can do would be to cross your feet, because you're crossing your arms is a sign of defensiveness, and you're shutting down in a conversation. But crossing the arms or feet starts an energetic block, so you're putting up a unconscious shield. That'd be my first step, and then I have a theory that I haven't practiced yet, but there's the mantra to call your power back to you.
Yeah.
And before it's digested energy that's transmuted, that would probably work. So you could just snatch it right back.
I
Using...
transmit my energy fast, so it's like you'd have to.
I was going to say it goes fast. With that one that hit me, the one I told you about, Cass, I did squeeze him. I squeezed until I got what I needed back.
So you
and
probably
then
only got like half or less.
Well, no, it still made me sick.
So it was already converted.
Yeah, but that's okay. I still squeezed and I still took some more back because I did not appreciate that. So
and that makes sense. If someone's a pastor of some sort, like they're likely.
Well, I wasn't gonna say that because I don't want to put any heat on anybody.
There's pastors in every religion.
I know, right?
I'm not specifying.
But no, it very much shocked me, and the person did not think I would be able to follow it back, and then go, nope.
Yeah, a lot of us are surprised because encountering conscious people that can actually realize that they're even being attacked at all is rare. Most of the time, people they jump a little bit and they just move along.
But that becomes like your malicious psychic vampire when somebody is like spiritually in tune, aware, and like actively bettering themselves. That is the tastiest buffet.
Yeah, it might be, but we don't appreciate being a buffet unless we're asked. And there are plenty of people, Cass, as you've noticed, there are plenty of people that are more than willing to let you feed on them. Heck, they might even do it topless. Okay.
So one of the things that that's one of the
Nico,
reasons why
crap
for my business or whatever you want to call it, I offer the therapeutic conversation because it's a way to not harm someone while still feeding off them because I'm feeding off their trauma. So that helps them because I can pull that trauma out of them and they can heal from it, whereas I can eat it.
Yeah. Christina, what are we talking about today? Christina, we are talking about psychic and energy vampirism. And I'm going to get to the rest of the comments real quick after I say this. Have any of you read the Dresden Files?
No.
Yep.
Wait, Nico, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Thank God. Okay. I like you, Nico. Anyways, in there, the main wizard, he has a half-brother who is pretty much an energy vampire. It's a whole race that feeds on sexual energy.
Yeah, that's
but the guy actually tried to go toward the good part of it, and he opened up a hair salon. And so what he was doing is a light feed on the women when he would wash their hair, when he would wash and color and cut. And the main character's like, well, what does it feel like? What? And he's like, come on, race me down the beach. And so they raced each other down the beach. And then he's like, And the guy goes to take a drink, and the vampire slaps it out of his hands after he's gotten just a little bit. And he's like, that's exactly what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
You're only getting just a little bit.
It's only a taste.
You know?
And you're really needing so much more.
Okay, then. Now, Katie, highlight of the four of you guys' day, please.
Yeah, mine's interesting.
Okay, go for it.
So, I hurt my back today.
Oh, which part?
Lower back.
Mm-hmm.
It's I have a brace on and everything right now, and I can't really fully straighten up. The way I did it is kind of ridiculous and stupid.
You're doing something kinky.
Almost.
Oh!
I was crushing a watermelon between my thighs.
Objectively, that could still be.
Yeah.
Oh.
Were
I'm
you
just
doing
trying to
this
picture
for a
how
while?
you pulled your back.
Because I lost a lot of muscle being on estrogen, and I didn't realize how much. So I actually had to fight for it.
So
And
you
Christina
shrimp,
says
you
she
shrimp
hopes you get better.
postured in to crush it.
Yeah.
So what exactly? All right, you're gonna have to tell us the full story at this point.
Oh, I just wanted to see if I could still do it. Because before I started estrogen, my thighs have always been strong. Like I can. Yeah.
Crack one up between the thighs. All righty then.
But I've lost quite a bit of muscle now, I realize, and it's like it was hard and I hurt myself, so I'm not doing it again.
I was gonna say, now, did you actually crush the watermelon? I mean, hey,
Almost.
did you crack it?
Yeah, well,
Heck.
it was like cracking and like squishing, and I made it kind of flat.
Oh, good job. I would never do that because I already have a bad back, and there is no way.
I didn't expect to hurt my back. I was expecting sore legs, and I was going to be like, I can deal with that.
Yeah, no. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So both Christina and Katie, Cass, they hope you get better. They hope you get to feeling better. Lots of ice.
It's already a little
ibuprofen.
bit better because I took a nap using a pill for support and all that. So
Oh, yeah. Good job. Oof. All right. Angelina Afterlife, correct. Angelina Afterlife, hello, y'all. Katie, love that. Miss Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Quit that. Yep. Thanks for
I love
going.
how he tried to scare us, but we scare him and then see him 3 seconds later.
I know, jump scare.
Somebody say jump scare? Oh,
No.
hold on one second.
Put a bell on that band.
What?
Anyway, do Culver's, but just ketchup and pickle and mustard.
Everything. Got it.
No. Anyway.
Especially
I'm
so.
hungry.
Well, let's see. Highlight of my
Multiple
day is just getting prepared for the wedding I have to do this weekend.
Woohoo!
I'll be taking off tomorrow down to Homestead, as I have to do the rehearsal tomorrow night, and then camp out down there and do the wedding.
Awesome possum.
Sounds fun.
All right. Congratulations. Nico, highlight of your day.
Ooh. I think the highlight of my day, for people that don't know, I work in a senior center. And I was doing our room cleanings, and, some of the residents are very lonely. They don't leave their apartments very much. And my last apartment of the day, we sat and talked for an hour while I was cleaning. And she's such a sweet lady, super strong. She's been through the ringer.
Those ones.
And found out that she's in the pagan circuit, which I had no idea we had any residents that were. But she knew one of the crystal vendors that used to come to our conventions here. They had since passed away, but she had a book on her coffee table, and I'm sitting there looking at it and was like, I know that lady, but I didn't know she wrote a book. Well, come to find out, this was one of her best friends, and she made a small printing of books that was like her life story and had them handed out at her service. And it's like just a really cool experience where it's like we got a nerd over crystals, and then this lady that I had known for over a decade, and it was just really cool.
Yeah, it's always really nice encountering like other people like us in a while. And like actually just yesterday I went to the gas station near my house, and the lady in there that I've talked to a few times, she's been super sweet. She had Palo Santo burning one time in the gas station. I was like, that's cool. And like today she was wearing the triple moon on her ears and everything, and I was just like, oh, fellow Wiccan, or like pagan at least. And she's like, yep, worship Athena. And I'm like, that's really fucking cool. And we sat there and talked for like 20 minutes.
Nice.
And there's also another aspect that basically I see quite frequently, because the fact that there's another lifestyle that I'm a part of, which operates off a power exchange. And
what's that?
You would not believe the number of basically energy and psychic vamps that we have to deal with.
Okay, well, what lifestyle?
People are tossing power around. I'm kind of attracted.
Well, yeah, that's one of your, that's like sending out a radar going, hello. So, all right, Earl, what's up? What lifestyle is this?
Well, that would be the kink community.
Oh, really? I had no idea you were into that. Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Especially since a lot of us can actually feed off sexual energy. There's a good amount that specialize in it. All of us each have our own specialization, but we can all feed off of all kinds. But it's harder on some for like some things. Like I can feed off sexual energy, but it's kind of like almost bland to me.
I was going to say,
classifies
by the way, Katie, thank you for asking us what the highlight is. My highlight, as always, is waking up next to my love, but also getting more done on my entry for the Kindle Vella Velli's publishing story that I'm doing. I've got 2 of them going. So, what?
Oh, the thing you sent me. I need to read that. I keep getting distracted by everything.
Don't worry, just go in and follow it. Thank you. That means you're voting for me in the contest. Anyway, but no, and then Katie, we want to know what your highlight of the day is. Because it's not all about us, guys. It's about them too. Right. They're the reason we do this. Now,
here's your book recommendation.
Woohoo! Okay, hang on. Werewolf Pac-Man. What? For this? Really?
Yeah, because there is a section in here that it touches on it. Yep.
All right, hold on. Wait. I'm going to mute my mic because my keys are loud. Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Denny Sargent? Okay.
Yep. And there's a section he touches on this, and and the way that he talks about it is definitely definitely psychic vampirism.
Okay, all right, that is cool. Now, I'm gonna get more to the comments. Katie, there's a lot of wows and ha-ha. Woo! All right, sweet, Nico. Wait, you're invading Earl's territory on the book suggestions, huh? I like it. Book wars. Okay.
I was gonna say I have the digital copy in front of me, but I can't show you that one.
What one?
I have the digital copies too, but
it's hard to show.
Everything by M. Ballinger. I put it in the private.
Oh, thank God. Okay, thanks.
They have several books on different things. Everything by them is fantastic.
Okay.
But this even goes over like how to identify like the feeding types.
This isn't just
the vampires. I'm not a psychic vampire, and I bought this to learn the energy work because it's useful for healing.
It's so good, yeah. That's actually how I learned how to harness what I do for myself for others.
Awesome.
It's just a great resource if you're interested in psychic
I mean,
vampirism.
that's how I was able to help Simone with her throat chakra at the fair. So
Nice. Okay, Christina, that can happen after I had a hysterectomy as part of cancer treatment. I'm losing calcium in my bones. And Christina, interesting. Okay. Christina, we always love having you on. Anyways, all right. So now, how to tell what? See, I started doing a little bit of a write-up on this just simply because, and I'm going to be publishing your article on animism on the shop blog this weekend, Nico.
Sweet.
Okay. Thank you for writing it up. I know you've had a lot going on. How to tell if you have been siphoned or vamped by an energy vampire. Now, for me, these are the symptoms I've seen in my clients, myself, the different people I work with. Energy drops, sometimes pain and getting pale or physically sick, irritability, a hungover feeling, headaches, tiredness that sleep won't fix. Harsher cases can include foreign desires, cravings, body aches, thoughts. This is caused by energetic bleed back. And then being unnaturally cold and being unable to warm up.
So a lot of that, it depends on how the vamp feeds. If they do a straight stab feed, as I call it, it's kind of easy to say, then
Christina, I love being here. I love having you.
It will sometimes leave a hole behind that leaks. And that's why you get the cravings and because it's not just the bleed back that causes cravings. Because having a leak can actually sort of turn you into a psychic vamp.
Now, I'm going to ask something because, hey, it's me. Nico and, Earl's gone. So, Nico, if this makes you feel uncomfortable, I do apologize, but I do need to ask this question. For women, when they are near or on their cycle, is it easier to feed off of them and does it do more damage?
Yes.
I haven't noticed any difference.
Oh, Nico, yes.
I would say yes. Their sensitivity is heightened.
Yeah.
On a whole.
True. Plus the emotional. Yeah.
There is an increase in vital energy during that time period for women as well. So I could see that they may be prone to taking more damage just due to there being a higher density of energy on them, and maybe more sensitive to it.
The reason I ask is because I didn't realize that I hadn't been looking at the calendar. Too much has been going on. Okay. Earl, I'm going to go ahead and mute your microphone. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't really paid attention to that as much myself. And actually now thinking about it, whenever I'm on my cycle, I normally need to feed a bit more.
I was going to say, they hit me. Too much had been going on. I wasn't keeping track. And this has been so much worse. I am just sicker than
it could make it worse too. That wouldn't surprise me because you're depleting the resources on an energetic level that your body needs to maintain its regular function. And that's an especially energetically consuming time for a woman. So when you're pulling those vital resources away, it's going to make it feel worse.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, it breaks down platelets and the red blood cells, iron, plasma. It pretty much breaks down the blood with the deeper feed. And if they're already low on iron because of menstruating, it's still going to get worse.
And it depends on where that person's feeding from. Are you pulling out of an energy center? Are you going through the outer layers of the aura? Did you go straight in?
Yeah.
It depends on where they stopped.
Okay.
And how much, because the farther in they go, the more damage you can do.
Chakra.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I've seen people with barbs coming out of their chakras from damage. Yeah, I was sitting there it was from a partner that they had that messed them up and was doing tantric feedings.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Mr. Nobody, Lobo, ha ha woo. Okay, well, hey, I can't translate that, but rock on. Thanks for being here. That sounds like me. Tuesday was bad for me. I had so much bad energy around me that I was sick. That's interesting. Hey, Cass, can you do a quick scan on me and make sure there weren't any barbs left?
I'm getting something in the stomach region.
Yep. That's where it felt like it hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly. It looks like there's a puncture. It's not huge, luckily, but there is some like. It doesn't even look like barbs. It looks like shattered pieces.
Shattered?
Yeah, like
Like
whatever came through got like pieces shaved off of it into you, like slivers.
Yeah.
That's dark energy. Wow.
This person is really close to me, and they're not a dark person, but
What is that?
I don't know.
It's not like evil. I'm
No.
getting like it's just like murky.
Yeah, it's a low vibration.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other part about this. It also hit my kiddo. This person would never have done it intentionally.
Understandable. Yeah, because
He was under the blanket with me, and his skin was like ice. So, I mean, yeah, I called Antoinette and everything like that, but it's just, he recovered. He's good. He's up hopping around. He's okay. But for me, yeah.
So kids recover really quickly, but yeah.
One thing you can do if you know how to do Reiki, you can use that to essentially ward off a good amount of the spams.
I don't know how to do actual Reiki. I just do energy work. And I mean, I've transmuted, I've taken cords out, I've done all that.
Because what I do is energy work too. It's just not Reiki.
Right. And for Reiki, I kind of roll my eyes a little bit because it's been so trendy. Everybody's like,
right.
Reiki. I'm like, oh my God. There was stuff before Reiki. I swear to God.
Yeah. That's why, I say that because the Reiki, I've talked to other vamps, and about 60% of us, it seems, are sickened by it.
Well,
that's so weird to me because it's supposed to be a universal energy, and maybe it's the different types of Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
different.
The fact that it's universal, that might be it. Because I am allergic to the sun and can't take any heat or flame.
Oh,
so it has that in it.
Reiki's are literally like the universal flame of life.
Yeah, so it has too much of everything.
Yeah,
it's
that
not
would make sense.
Specific things.
I honestly, I'm leaning toward looking into doing Reiki myself because after this last one, this was bad. And this was from a good friend, so I'm not going to be shielded up. This is a person that's not, they don't do this normally. But, yeah.
Well, it could be just hand them a battery when you interact with them.
Here's a battery. There you go. Yummy.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember the movie My Stepmom's an Alien? That's what made me think of Cass. Did you ever watch it?
No.
Okay. This alien comes to Earth. I think it's to stop a scientist or something. And she can't eat human food. So what she does, she goes to the hardware store, she gets batteries and sucks the energy and stuff out of them and flattens them out.
Say what?
Uh-huh. She ends up marrying the scientist, or they're dating or something, and his daughter walks in and watches her do this, and she's like, ah! It's caught in the act, but yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the buttons experiment that I'm doing.
The what? Oh yeah, true.
And it seems to be working because Simone filled hers 4 times.
Yeah. I bet.
Part of it was from the people that she did tarot for, and part of it was just her stress.
Yeah. Christina, when I get bad energy around me, it's like a punch to the gut. Now, I felt that, and the headaches that crawl down my head, that's generally when negative entities are around. When somebody comes in with negative entities on, it's like, oh, okay, yeah. Singing bowl! Like the Palo Santo, go away, bad stuff, or I call Antoinette, either way. Christina is a lot of wows and ha-has.
Well, I'm going to go back to tentacling.
Tentacling!
Yeah.
God.
Okay.
I'm going to mute myself while I laugh.
my ex, who was with me. You know this one.
Which one?
The one who was with me at the last fair.
Oh yeah.
That basically, anytime that she would wind up with her bad migraines, she would push it off towards me to take my energy so that she can get rid of hers.
By the way, just so as you know, I stepped back from her and you guys because when she sat across from me, she yanked out some of my stuff. I was already dead tired, exhausted, and she pulled more. Now, the reason I didn't get irritated with her is she also pulled a chunk of my pain out. I don't think she did it on purpose.
No, she doesn't know she's doing it. That's
Yeah.
the problem. She doesn't know.
Nice lady, but
Yeah.
she doesn't understand. And I'm just like, I'm not going to chance this twice. So I was exhausted afterward, but it was kind of like being cleaned off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
But that's a good example for you.
Barbie, is seeing a good sign? Is seeing a certain... Okay, Barbie, honey, you're gonna have to...
She did clarify it as a certain number.
Okay, it's being a certain number, a good sign. Like I see my birthday on the clock a lot, and 222 and 1111 and 911.
You should look into angel numbers and see what those numbers mean for you.
Yep, numerology is a big thing.
Well, yeah, 1111. It's supposed to be something like it's all good or something like that.
Yeah, like, isn't that something to do with like hopes coming true? I don't know. I don't do much numerology.
Okay.
I haven't touched numerology in
It's my
a
best
decade and a half.
Representing new beginnings, leadership, and spirituality. 1111.
Oh,
so new beginnings. That's pretty good.
Okay.
That is a really fun way to freak out your witchy friends, though, is set a scheduled text message for like every angel number.
Oh, that's mean. I like it, but that's mean. That's a horrible thing.
It's just like the most supportive things, like, you're beautiful, you're doing a fantastic job, remember you're powerful.
I looked it up. It means alignment, and my angels are looking out for me. Awesome, Barbie. Well, that's so cool. Yay.
Better than negative stuff.
Yeah. Better than ravens swooping at you.
You will die in 7 days after watching this videotape. Okay, so...
I know some people I want to play that for if you find it.
Okay, I'll make sure. Now, the different types of feeds. There's energy, there's emotion. There's one that people don't talk about a lot, a true psychic vampire, which feeds on psychic awareness and mental cognition.
Yep.
Okay, and that's debilitating.
And intuition as well. They can actually pull at your intuition.
But that is completely debilitating. I've seen people, they almost seem like they're starting dementia after a feed. So
that's why I don't touch it.
Yeah. Thor, Nico, Earl. Thoughts on that? How can people kind of just make sure that doesn't happen? I mean, it's one thing to feed on the negative emotions, be like, okay, here you go. Num num. You can has that cheeseburger. But
the only thing I can think of if you're worried about that specifically, is maybe keeping stuff like amethyst with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would venture towards the protective charms stones like amethyst, fire agate,
and definitely get good shields.
Yeah. Stones that increase the life force or heal the aura, so like chastolite, labradorite, or bronzite would probably be pretty good too. It's very protective.
Now, an auric whole field filler and chakra liner is black kyanite. It's part of the reason I started using it. I love the stuff. It's amazing. Hang on, Barbie. I used to see 666 a lot, though. One time I saw 666 on an ambulance license plate. Lol. I used to be scared of it, but I looked it up and it means spiritual alignment too. Yeah, that yes.
So a lot of them, it says that it's spiritual alignment because you're looking it up. You're curious. Your curiosity shows spiritual alignment, not so much the number.
True. Okay, so energy we've covered, emotion. Hey, you know what? I'm actually really okay with somebody feeding on my emotions because I don't really want them anyway.
It can be therapeutic, and
Yep, that's one of the reasons
can-
why I do that trauma one, because
Yep.
taking the negative emotions out helps both parties, because I get food and they get like
Relief.
healing.
that's
Now-
one of the ones I learned to do from the like healing side of it, in the most ethically nice way possible, so that when somebody's having a really bad day, I can sit there and flip them
Yeah.
and be like, "It's gonna get better," and like start pumping them back up. And
Yeah, that's like the main reason I charge for the therapy conversation at all is just because if it's traumatic enough, it's the whole too much negative. I can feed from it, I get a bit from it, but it drains me.
Yep, I
But
do that
it's
all the
still
time for people or friends that are around me, others that I come into contact with, or having emotional bad day, and I'll use my own energy to help
Sort up, yeah.
level them out.
Yeah.
Christina, that's what I need. I need the bad energy sucked out of me. Christina, be careful what you wish for. No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's your picture, in 5 minutes or less, we could fix that.
I mean, I have found I can feed from a distance.
Yes. We're like Jiffy Lube.
Well, I don't know how fast it would be depending on like what type of energy, because I've also noticed that different types of negative energy, even if they're the same like level or so, is like it takes different time for me to take.
Christina, ha ha ha. Barbie, Christina, go for a nice walk.
That might help.
No,
Actually,
I'm
yeah.
at this point, I'm actually willing to give Cass a $5 in-store credit to suck the negative energy out of Christina and see what happens. I'm a horrible person, but you know, hey, you guys knew that before you got on here.
I mean, I'm a
For
sucker for instant
science.
credit, so
As long as I get good energy back, yeah, we're not gonna leave you empty.
Oh, as long as I get good energy back. No. The good energy is on your hand. Okay, burn some Palo Santo, get some crystals going.
yeah.
It's gonna empty you out. Like
If I do feed, it's gonna leave some of a void, and a lot of times that can actually help because it lets your own energy start to flow.
yeah, breaks up the blocks.
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that I did. That's what I did for Simona's. She had some blockages on her throat chakra, and so I broke those up and sucked up what I could. Unfortunately, it's still like I can't get everything.
Can I ask you something, Cass? After that major show she did it seem a little worse? The one she did out at, I think it was Cedar Rapids. Did it seem worse?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Can you trace any of those blocks back to any one?
No. That's the thing, is that the blockages that I deal with a lot of times aren't so much like specifically from people. It's stagnation crusting.
Okay. The reason why I asked, Cedar Rapids has a particularly, it's got a very stagnant, very not good energy around it.
That makes sense. Most likely she was just like either being around it like stagnates your own, or she took some of it in unknowingly.
Both Marion and Cedar Rapids I attempt to avoid because of the issues. Hold on. Christina, at Barbie, I need to and get some good exercise too. Do you think Beyonce is a witch? You know, I'm going to leave
Beyonce is Oshun. Beyonce is crowned Oshun. She's in the community.
I think Beyonce is Beyonce.
Yeah, I mean, I let people do their thing.
Yeah, I know, right? Christina, yeah, I like to walk around a lot. Okay. Okay. So, retrieving energy stolen from psychic vampires. We touched on this a little bit earlier, but how would you guys do it? If you could.
Sorry, I was distracted. What?
From psychic vampire.
Oh, what were you distracted by, Thor? Huh?
I got a Discord message that someone was fine with
Honestly, the kind of the Uno reverse card, where if you want to play that game, you want to reverse the table and tap them back, and then transmute it myself. If they want to be that rude about it, instead of asking.
Yeah.
Oh, if someone just directly feeds off you without asking.
Yep.
Yeah, you can essentially play tug of war if you're strong enough.
Yep. It's a battle of wills, and you can. The easiest way I can explain the sensation is, it's like somebody's holding a thread between the two of you, and it's got like the full force of your like strength on it, if that makes sense. Like, it's a very fragile, thin cord, but you're pulling full force on that, and if you can see the energy, you can watch it go back and forth between your aura and their aura. And like you can, it's like in the movies where you're trying to control somebody's mind and like they're going back and forth, and it's like, no, I'm coming over. No, I'm coming over.
Yep.
Now that's another thing. Have you guys ever had the issue to see up close and personal a case where a psychic vampire attempted to use it to mind control someone? And yes, I have seen it before, and it does work very well. So
I've seen them.
Thought about that.
Yes, but on like an emotional level, where they're putting people in certain emotional aspects.
Yeah, I can do that.
But
no, not emotion.
You mean pushing thoughts? I've done that.
Will.
Yeah, I've done that to somebody.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just like essentially creating suggestions in their own brain.
Yeah, you're putting that seed in and going straight from the top.
You might, are you referencing the old Jedi mind trick here, or what?
Basically, breaking down somebody's will until it's subjugated to your own. Yes, I've seen it happen. No, it's not pretty.
You see that more in like the narcissistic power dynamics, where generally it's an unconscious, gross psychic vampire and a victim, and the power play and everything is just bad.
Was it Nightingale syndrome?
Yep. Oh no, it's not Nightingale. It's Stockholm.
Stockholm, yeah.
Stockholm.
Like something.
Oh damn.
That's more common than what anybody seems to think.
It is.
I think the Kardashians,
especially in situations of abuse as well.
Yes. And a couple of the ones I've seen, I will sit there and I will watch them hunt for victims in the crowd. And it's the victims they pick are always, they love women or younger men who have trauma and who are already broken and easier to break and feed off of.
Mm-hmm.
There's a specific kind of person, and that person just falls right under the spell.
Now, what would be interesting is that person do a cord cutting, and then that person's continually doing spell work to reopen the cord.
They don't do any sort of spell work. The ones I've run into, ones I've tripped across.
I ran into that one, and it was very frustrating. Because I did like 3 cord cuttings, and then wondering why they keep coming back, and it's like, you don't have a child.
Yeah.
Why? Why is it coming back? You're not married. You've never been married, and you don't have a child.
Yeah.
And yeah, they were actively doing spell work to like regain a cord, and I'm sitting there like, no, you're done.
Go get a new one. Jesus.
Yeah.
Christina, oh my God. Barbie. Has there ever been a Native American practitioner on here? Yep, Nico. Have you?
And I know some. I just don't actually practice.
I am Sangansho Ayote, which is burnt thigh Lakota.
Nice. Have you ever been Midgard's Blot Metal Festival?
No, but I
want to.
kind of want to just by the name alone.
I have
Well,
not
it's-
heard of it.
Literally
That's
the
the first
Earth
time I've heard of it.
celebration.
At Barbie at Christina, they are witches. They were talking about Kylie aging badly though because of all the surgery. I thought she was older, not 26. The Kardashians are a whole other thing.
I leave all the famous crap all alone.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd trade David Bowie for the Kardashians in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All of the Kardashians. Barbie, at Christina, did you ever watch Keeping Up with... Okay, no more. Did you ever watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians? No. No. I don't watch Jersey Shore either.
Yeah, no. Nope.
Or Teen Mom or any reality show. I'm just, no. I can't do it.
If it's full of drama,
No.
like even though if I was in person, I could feed off of it.
I was going to say, well,
In
actually,
act
wait
watching
a
the
minute.
Show, not so much.
Here's my
I mean,
question.
I don't care for the taste of
It'd be
drama.
really light, just because of how long ago it was recorded. It would be the main problem.
That's exactly it. You get nothing from it.
Well, and plus, what Barbie is talking about doesn't even apply to psychic vampirism at all, really.
Yeah, that's the next topic. So,
Okay. Then psychic vampire protection, no eye contact, know when you're vulnerable. And we can't all be aware, so take your charged crystals and your charged talismans. Another thing Antoinette mentioned was breath. If you're feeling something's breathing, don't be obvious about it. And then also ask for release, verbalize, stop it, and be firm. You can even hold your hand up. Or you can call on your spiritual entities of faith to help, like God, Archangel Michael, Yamaya, Santa Muerte. Let's see, what's an Egyptian one? I would honestly say Sekhmet for an Egyptian one. I don't
yeah.
know. Nico?
For Norse, I would go Freya,
Okay.
Tyr, or
Tyr would be good for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Freya would be good for the energy side of it. Tyr would be better for just the pure protection.
Okay.
or Thor.
Thor or Heimdall, actually.
Really? Why?
Or Vidar. Vidar would mess somebody up. He's the god of
He
vengeance.
Vidar. How do you spell that?
Vidar. He's the Norse god of revenge and vengeance.
Yeah. He would do it more after the fact, though.
Yeah, but like,
You got to be careful with that because, I've learned the hard way that
And he
ask for
goes on
something
a train.
if you don't have something specific that you're asking for.
oh yeah, be very, very specific and word
Yeah.
what you want like you're a lawyer, because you get exactly what you ask for.
Yep.
Exactly.
Because broad, it continues on like a broad.
That's
Yep.
the reason why I've
Yeah,
learned
you
my
can just
lesson
let the
not
dog
to
loose.
go to not
Just keep
to
going.
go to no shoot. Think of it here in a second.
And for
Ready.
You don't go to Odin with the peddly stuff. Like
from
No.
the native side of things, Grandmother Spider would be a really good one because she deals with
Why?
connections between people.
Yeah.
So she's the connection, or created the connections between all people. So she's the one that literally makes the threads that come out of people's heads and connect back to source.
Really?
So she's kind of similar to the Fates in the way that she controls the connections between people.
Yep.
And you could ask her to remove a connection.
Now, I am going to put this up here. I asked Antoinette when she gave me a couple of tips earlier. She's still sad she couldn't be on, but
And
That
Sazi
works.
would also be good at understanding connections too.
Mhm.
who?
And Sazi. And Sazi. I'm horrible at pronouncing it.
Anansi?
Nancy? Maybe?
The
Oh,
African
spider.
trickster- The African trickster
spider
god?
weaver. The
Oh, Arachne.
Arachne. Yes.
No, not it's not Arachne, but it's the
Is
Anasazi. It's Native American, lower Native American, closer to Mayan.
Wait,
let me look it up. It's been a long time.
Okay, now I am going to say this. I asked Antoinette about her pricing on this because she normally just does it, but it's becoming more and more of a problem. So, Psychic Vampire Experience Diagnostic, Cord Cutting, and Repair. Nico, would you be able to do anything with that? If so, what do you charge?
Standard, my $30.
Okay, all right, $30, and you can do it remote, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I have Reiki Master.
The person would just get in touch with you, yes?
Yep.
Okay. So give me 1 second here. She did 15 to 25, depending on how bad it is. Okay. 30. Thor, can you do anything with that or no?
Well, I'm sorry, I was looking at stuff.
Okay, no worries. Psychic Vampire Diagnostic, Cord Cutting, and Repair. Can you do anything with it? Since you are one.
Repair, because one of the things that I do if I do a stab feed is I, when I retract, I do different things with the energy to try to make it heal faster. Detecting them, I can probably help a little bit with because we kind of give off like a territorial scent. But I'll repeat it again.
Basically, it would be if they suspect they have an experience with a psychic vampire after everything that we've run through the diagnostics on, it would be a diagnostic session, a cord cutting, because some vamps like to parasitic feed, and then repair work. Repair is going to be the most important.
Okay, so I could do all three, but the cord cutting, I'm not so good at pure cord cutting, but what I could do is start to feed from them through their line.
Okay.
And a lot of times they let go.
Okay.
That's what I did with the siphons in the shop.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. So how much would you charge for that? Antoinette's doing 15 to 25 just because it's so frequent and so needed. Nico's at 30. Where are you at?
Yeah, I'd be probably, depends on how much of it is needed. If it's just a diagnostic and a heal, no cord cutting, I'd say probably 25. But if I need to go and essentially attack another of my kind, then I'd probably charge more, probably closer to like 45, 50.
Let's do 55. Okay. All right. Because, there is a lot of risk in that.
Yeah.
But I want to put this up there. Earl, do you do any of that or no? I'm guessing it's not your wheelhouse.
Not really my wheelhouse. Is I'm more along the lines of helping to heal.
Right.
Because, I've ever since I started off on my path, I've been called a healer, and that's basically what I do.
Okay. So now, protectionary tips. Basically, these are repair tips more than anything that Antoinette put out there, and I'm going to have you guys add whatever after. She said Palo Santo to clean yourself and the Florida water from the shop, because you got to clean that crap off you. That's first and foremost. Black kyanite, white selenite, that's me. That's more of a repair. Protection crystal pack, that's your obsidian, black tourmaline, white selenite, citrine. A talisman, basically you're charging up a talisman to wear.
More effective against some of us.
What?
So it also depends on the vamp too. Because like citrine would probably be really effective against me specifically because I can't take anything with fire. And citrine is just a block to me.
But it's really pretty.
It is. It's just I can't do anything with it. And I think when someone's holding it, I don't think I can mess with them either.
Okay. You could do an elemental pack, might not be a bad idea. Do a stone associated with each element.
Yeah, that would probably do it.
Okay.
So now, it wouldn't hit against every vamp, but it would hit a large majority.
Yeah, but if you're making a shield out of multiple elements, it's going to be harder.
Okay. Okay. So I'm
would
going to ask you, Nico, what would you do for each elemental stone?
I would do blue calcite for water.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say
Which,
either
by the way,
silver,
is 25% off for the next 2 weeks at Des Moines New Age Shop.
What was it?
Blue
blue
calcite.
calcite.
All your throat chakra stones,
Oh.
because we're in the middle of Mercury retrograde.
Yeah, good call.
Obsidian, preferably one of the sheen or the rainbow obsidians.
Really?
I feel they're easier to cleanse. Because when the light hits them, it just blasts everything out. Air, I'm gonna go with. Ooh, Howlite. Because
White
it'll help
howlite?
you find the truth, and then it has some balancing with the chakras.
Okay.
And then so that was fire, water. We need earth. I'm gonna go with chastelight.
Really?
Because not only will it help heal holes in the aura, but it provides a protective coating. So it'll help prevent future damage and help you heal any damage that's already been incurred.
Swankaboo. Okay. So, protection pack, elemental protection pack, and then talisman for protection, but also cord cutting with candles. That way, if they do leave any cords in you, you can cut them and clean them out. All right. So, the cord cutting with candles, I would do either a black and a white or a white and a white.
And then I have a recommendation for that.
I was going to say, so I'm going to ask for your recommendation. You're heavier on the spell work.
So, the cord cutting I see a lot of people do is the divination of the relationship between the two people. So you need to physically cut the cord. So you either need to cut the cord or burn the cord directly. Otherwise, you're just observing the relationship between the two people. You're observing the power dynamic.
So, what would that look like?
So you would have the same setup, 2 candles, string around them, and then I typically put protective herbs around the client that you're doing it for. And then if the other person's, whoever's the good party in the situation, the negative party, banishing, so garlic powder, acidifa, chilies, black salt, kind of soak up all that negativity and be like, you're going away. We're done with you. Put your cord around them and then light both candles, let them get to the level where they start to ignite, and then I take a pair of iron scissors and cut my cord.
Okay.
And then let the candles burn all the way down. You can also do this with a single candle in a mirror with your image in the mirror. And then physically cut the cord. Like tape it to the mirror and then tie it to the candle.
So one of the things that I've encountered with the candle spell, with the tying them together and everything, cutting the cord early on that can actually cause damage.
You have to be. I tie mine low on the candles. Like I let them burn down because I want to see what their energies and personalities are like.
That's true.
And read the flames for a bit before I get to the cutting.
Although a lot of the people I know, if they're not doing diagnostic like that, that's actually a kind of cool way to do it. They're just trying to get rid of it. A lot of times they will tie it up near the top and not cut it, but let it drop off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I found that causes less damage. It's essentially like they're letting go of the cord kind of thing.
Okay.
And I can answer Christina's question here.
Same.
If you want to put it up, there we go.
This might sound silly, but have any of you used a wand for spells? If so, where do you get them? Des Moines New Age Shop. Okay, go ahead, guys.
Well,
I'll let him go first.
Out of the wands that I've used, they've all been ones that I've basically come up with myself. And the best ones to use are when you find downed branches. And I have found specific ones that, and really you don't even have to do much with them. I mean, if you want to make it more personal, you can. But when you're using a down branch and putting your own energy into it, that's the best one that you can use.
Yeah. So, yeah, I use one as well. And if you're like me, where like you're in the middle of the city and you can't easily get good branches that aren't kind of toxified, there are other ways too, but it only is the best to make your own, because that way you put your energy into it. But there are some creators on Etsy that I got my wand through Etsy, and they essentially give you like these really nicely carved cool wands. And when it came to me, it was blank. I was able to impart my energy into it, so it was very much, it became mine.
And I'm gonna be the weird one. So I do have a wooden wand, which is a Rowan wand. And then I normally use like an Athame or a Ritual Blade or an Iron Spike for rituals, depending on what rituals.
Yeah, I have my my bowling.
And then I really like obsidian for my ritual daggers. I also have several that are made out of buffalo bone.
I'm actually willing to show my bowling. It's well, actually, would that cause issues with the stream?
I was actually going to say, we have selenite wands at the shop. We do have some obsidian and different gemstone. What are you guys' thoughts on selenite wands?
I use one for energy work. When I'm doing healings, I will use one as kind of a scanner.
And boost what you're doing.
It'll it kind of brings things up to the surface, and I can get an idea of what's going on in somebody a little more.
I don't know if you guys have ever tried this out. It's not maybe spell work related, but it is very interesting. I started doing this before I ever really got deeper into this stuff. I can actually take a selenite with a point on it and start moving energy blocks in a person. I'll focus my energy through it and start moving the energy blocks. And I remember one lady, she was super skeptical about crystals and everything else. And I said, close your eyes. And I had her husband watch me. I held the point about this far above her palm, and I started.
You're not on cam there,
Your screen's black.
I'm fine for me.
You Mercury retrograded.
Can you see me now?
You're buffering.
Nope.
You're still black.
That's odd.
The screen is.
Yeah,
I held it about an inch above my palm, and I started.
There we go.
There. Okay. I started tracing different runes, different signs, different symbols, swirls and stuff, and she was able to accurately identify each one. That's how I made a believer out of her.
See, I used I did similar to that. I pointed a laser quartz at somebody, and I was walking around them with a laser quartz and having them tell me where I was. And I'm a very quiet stepper.
No, God.
I'm a ninja for being a big dude. I sneak up on people all the time, so there's no way she heard me walking. And she was pretty accurate, and she's sitting there like, I could feel like a dot moving around me. Or one of the party tricks I used to do was take people's headaches.
Okay.
Where I would... when I was in college, we would have like a Zoom class, and one of the girls, we were talking about energy work, and I was in massage school, so it was relevant. And I was like, yeah, I do energy work, and one of the girls was like, I don't know if I really believe it works. And she said she had a headache, so I started tracing a bubble around the side of her head that had a headache. And then I pulled it off, and she's like, why is my head getting cold? And she's like, it tingles. Like, you can feel it tingling there. And she's like, never mind, I believe. It works.
Yep.
Yep.
Those fun tiny tricks that can actually bring somebody over to the side of, oh, hey, wait a minute, this actually might work, and this is a way to help.
And I'm constantly doing that to myself. Like all the time, I'm like, oh, I can't. That's not possible. And then I do something, and it's like, shit.
And then you got to revert. Like, I'll do something, and then have to reverse engineer it to be like, okay, I can do it, but how do I explain to other people to do this, or how do I teach people to do this?
Exactly.
So they asked about wands. There is another important part of rituals and a lot of work that Nico had mentioned slightly, but is your iron, your blade, your stake, whatever. And for some of us, it's a bowling, which stands for, I think it's like white bone, something like that.
It's an herb knife.
I have mine here. It's a knife, so it shouldn't cause. Would it cause any issues? Do you think showing it on screen?
Go ahead, because it's so irony.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So this one's my favorite because
that's gorgeous,
right? And it's got the inside serrated so that you can, and like the outside's bladed so that you can do herbery with it. So it's so useful. But it has spiritual significance because it's a charged ritual dagger kind of thing that you can also use for like the cord cutting rituals and stuff like that.
No, I want to say that's different than using like an Athame ritual dagger. Most ritual daggers do not have a live edge on them.
Exactly.
They are not meant to cut a physical object, which is why I use iron scissors to do cord cuttings.
That's fair.
Because they're specifically meant to cut.
So that one I use because some of the rituals I've done, I have involved blood.
I was going to say, people that do the blood magic stuff normally like the sharper stuff. Nicole, of course. Nice bowling! Yep. That's Nicole.
And for those that are curious about the spelling, that's how it is spelled.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for joining in. Okay, now quick thing, back to the repair. For the protective herbs, Nico, which ones?
Protective herbs against a psychic vampire?
When you're doing the cord cutting thing. Protective herbs
cord cutting? I would use rue if you have it available, rosemary if you don't have rue, but it'd be like rosemary, for protection. So I'm going to do rosemary, black salts, and then eggshell powder, cascarilla, which is the same thing, depending on if you're making it at home or if you're buying it. One second. Nettles.
Oh, wish rue was easier to find. Yeah, no kidding. I had to go through a hell of a lot to find it at the shop.
Nettles and basil.
Okay, cool. Now, also because of how much this is starting to happen and how much energy work is coming through our doors, Antoinette and I have sat down and we're going to start doing mini energy work classes. These are just going to be very simple. They are going to be for charging, but they're not going to be that costly. But this is going to teach people how to do this stuff themselves because it's becoming more and more and more frequent. So we're going to have one for repair, one for shielding, and one for diagnostic. Now, hold it. Wait. Work with Angelica Root before. Don't know if it would be good for this or not.
Angelica Root is like that would be more so for, or at least in my practice, it's a protector of women and children. Okay. So if you fall under those categories, yes. Okay. So if I have a female client, especially against like an abusive male, absolutely she's getting covered in Angelica Root.
Okay.
I wonder if it will work for people like me.
Hmm?
You fall under the femme presenting and like the.
And I might be intersex, so it's also
Yeah. It'd be worth a shot. And I mean, I don't even know what the masculine. Is there a masculine equivalent for Angelica Root? I'll have to look that up. But like a specific one that protects men.
Yeah, I think there is, but I think it's a rare one.
Because I know that there's plants that like attract men, but I don't know if there's a specific protector of men.
I was gonna say, but there would have to be, wouldn't there?
I would think so.
Okay. Christina, do you use different wands for different things? Now, I have had some people that yes, but Nico and Thor and Earl.
Huh?
I
do.
yeah,
because like the wood wand for most things, and then like the stone or selenite wand for things that you want to charge up while working it.
I agree. So I have my regular ritual staff is a ash staff. And then for spirit work and like exorcism, things like that, Rowan wand. For or my steel wand. For healing, I'm using either a selenite wand or I have, what is it, selenite, amethyst, or sodalite, kind of depending on what I'm needing it for.
Okay.
But depends on the woods. I want to get a willow staff or a willow wand is on my list.
Okay.
I just, every time I see a willow tree that's out here, it is normally in a place that I can't go snatch a good branch.
Okay, so I think I found one that's the male protection herb, chopperol.
Chopperol?
Yeah.
Chopperol. Wait.
And I mean, juniper and mugwort are both on the list, but like those are slightly more universal.
I mean, juniper's protection, love, luck, and exorcisms.
Chopperol is CHAPARRAL.
Yeah, that does sound familiar. Hey, by the way, guys, I want y'all to know, just on Facebook alone, guess how many plays we're at?
Oh, that would make sense. It's a creosote.
Okay, yeah, that does make sense.
Ooh, I might need to get. So there's a thing called brown Lysol. If you can't find that plant, look for brown Lysol. It's a cleaning product. It is highly corrosive, but it is really, really good as a spiritual cleanser. You should clean your kitchens with it on Sunday.
Okay.
It protects the house on like a monthly basis if you clean on the first Sunday of the month with creosote on the floors.
Okay.
Protects against harm and illness. It is super caustic though, so you want to use a very tiny amount. It's like
kind of like you like diluting bleach kind of thing.
Yep.
Hey guys, guess how many views we're up to right now?
How many?
69.
Really, Nico? Come on now.
312.
Don't give me an opening like that. Anyway, 2,300.
Oh, nice. 300 part, right?
Cool.
2.3K. Yeah.
I mean, it's a big topic. It's hitting all around.
Oh yeah.
That is true.
And I mean, we essentially propagate by feeding sometimes if we feed too heavily.
And you can even, by doing too much spell work or not pulling from the right sources, can temporarily become a psychic vampire.
Yep.
Really?
So if you're doing energy work without recovering, or I found like if I do heavy spells and I'm not pulling from the right sources and I'm using my own personal energy, you get drained after doing spell work. So if you're not pulling from the sources you need to do spell work, or for some newer practitioners who don't work with deities or haven't learned how to pull energy in from other sources, spell work gets exhausting, and then you go to the grocery store and you're tired and you have no energy, and then
you
turn into that Hoover vacuum.
And then what makes it worse is all those like TikTok witch things that are like.
That's what I was going to say. So is that
being careless?
Is that possibly the reason why we're seeing so much more?
I could see that.
Yeah, most likely.
I could see that. I have that issue with one of my students where she had to ask me. She's like, every time I do spells, I'm super exhausted after, and I was like, I had to sit there and think about it because that's normally not the case for me. Like, it's normally the opposite. Like, I do spells and I'm buzzing. Like, it's like 3 cups of coffee.
Okay.
And
I know you just want to do more.
I had to sit there and think about it, and I was like, but I'm pulling in elements and like pulling up deity energy and like sending it off. And I had to like ask her, be like, okay, so what do you invoke? Like, are you doing like calling corners? Like, who do you ask for help? And she's like, I just did it. And I'm sitting there like, wait, you getting sick a lot lately? Because like
no protection or anything? That's
she's one of the people that I've been teaching things, and it's teaching by being dropped off the cliff. She gets into a problem and then I fix it, and I explain to her how I fixed it and how not to do it again.
I mean, she goes right back out and does it again.
No, it's always a new problem.
She's attentive.
Yes.
Okay. Christina, haha, I was going to say 69. Nicole, that makes sense. Christina, hi, Nico's cat. Christina, Nico, do you teach remotely?
I do, so I don't do like Witchy 101, but on my TikTok page, which is Crystal Heathen, I do tidbits, and I do educational witchy lives on pretty much everything. Like, I do egg readings, candle flames, and then whenever I do lives, it's always free. You're free to ask questions if you have questions about anything witchy. I'll answer them. And then we have a page on Facebook called Within the Cauldron, where we do bi-weekly educationals, so it's every other Sunday. We do discussions on topics. They're posted 3 days before on our Facebook page. Discussions are held in the Discord that's associated with that, and all kinds of topics. We just had one on planetary magic, which was last Sunday.
Nicole, questions develop classes and blogs. Yeah, that's pretty much how we roll around at the store.
So yes, but not like my first formal class will be here locally in Omaha, October 19th on folk magic. I'm teaching folk magic 101.
Actually, Thor and I had talked about this because we keep getting so many questions on it. Basically, a basic Wicca Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
Nico, would you be willing?
Several of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Earl, Nico, okay. What about next week for the basic Wicca Q&A? How would you guys feel about that? Next week, Thursday, the roundtable.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that can be done.
Question. Nico, do you want me to see if Gypsy is available for this?
That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay. I'd love to have Wade on, but I know he's busy. So.
Yeah. And
okay, guys, I'm going to have to wind up bugging out because I'm being paged. But something else that I've also done is I've taught, and I've done videos on Pagan Prep 101. It's for the newbies to prepare themselves who are planning on going to festivals.
Oh, that's a good call.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because you
call it Pagan Prep 101.
Okay. Christina, nice. I need as much witchcraft education as I can get. Well, this is going to be a basic Q&A. That's
essentially intro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Question and answer, and most of the questions are going to come from the audience.
And the fun thing about this is that since we're going to be getting different practitioners,
I'll be here next week with Bills on. Good night, Earl.
Night.
That we'll get the different like views, and they can pick and choose, like they're talking about with that book, because the way I practice is different than everyone else. It's I literally, like the spells and everything I do, I see what the original ritual is that everyone does, and then I essentially go through it step by step with my goddess, going, is this the way you want it done, or is this the way you want it done?
It's very personal, and it varies by tradition too. So if you're in a coven structure, how one coven practices versus another tradition is totally different.
And that's why every witch tends to have their own grimoire.
Because like I use a staff instead of a wand, because that's how I was taught, and the lady that I was taught by pretty much exclusively used the staff for about everything, and like she had some good ones though. Ooh.
And of course, there's going to be parts of it where everyone needs to like do stuff like protection,
grounding,
using the elements to help fuel it, stuff like that.
Yes, how to channel energy for spell work, charging crystals, moon water.
I really need to make my business cards. I keep forgetting.
Actually, Thor, I wanted to talk to you. I made the little sign up for Nico. Guys, this is Nico's information. I made this up to help him out because he got really hit by the 90-mile-an-hour winds in Nebraska. So please contact him. He does his work remotely. Thor, I wanted to talk to you about this as well. Do you want to make up something like this, or do you want me to make up something like this for you?
Yeah, we can probably get together and co-op it. That way we can get solidified.
And then Nicole said, no one practice is quite the same. Very, very true. But no, I earlier this week on the Tuesday night talks, I pulled in Angel in because you guys know she's having it really rough. And I put up her prices and stuff like that. She's trying to get up the money right now to go down to Texas to see her son, who he's been diagnosed with terminal cancer. Yeah. So but fingers crossed that it's not, that he can beat this. There is a chance that he could. But let's be honest. Thor, Nico, if you could have your mom there versus not while you're going through that, you'd want your mom there, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, but no, I'm doing this because everybody is getting hit so hard with everything.
I wonder if I could feed off cancer.
I am terrified of even thinking about trying.
Yeah, like a hex is
I'm not even going to bribe you.
So I've done a healing circle for a woman who had cancer.
Christina loved Angel in. Thank you, Christina. And Christina, of course. Okay.
We weren't actively trying to nobody was feeding on it. We were just immediately grounding it. Like it was picking up the nastiest.
Yeah, maybe I would need to not convert it because that'd probably drain me too much.
It was sticky as an energy. It doesn't come off easy, and she did ultimately pass. I would venture to say that we may have prolonged her life a little bit, but she had stage 4 and it was everywhere, and it was more about maintaining comfort than it was you're not going to pull a miracle like that when somebody's that close. And I mean, I've done some crazy recoveries on people, but not that.
It's kind of like with my fibro, how I constantly have to put energy into it to heal it, but it's never gone. It's just makes it feel a little better for a bit.
You do pain reduction.
Earthing it. Now, I will tell you guys, okay, remember, I do have a natural health background. There are a lot of natural health things you can do to put cancer back, to kill it, basically.
It's crazy amounts of vitamin C, isn't it?
You've got to do sunlight therapy. You've got to do a lot of stuff, but it takes a lot of dedicated life changes.
Okay. It depends on the type.
Yeah.
If it's melanoma, you probably don't want sunlight therapy.
No. But no, God, I forget.
Or if it's me.
Oh, no, I think her name was Linda Moulton Howe. I remember she wrote books about all of this. she had cancerous lumps so bad they were sticking out of her. And when she was too weak, her husband would carry her and lay her out in the sunlight. She started changing her whole diet and everything. She recovered. She's fine. She came all the way back from that.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So natural health-wise, there's a lot you can do. Of course, I'm not going to tell Angel Lynn that because right now she's just, one day she can mow the lawn, one day she's crying, all day. This is not the time.
It's a lot to process.
Yeah. Her first son disappeared and she doesn't know if he's alive or not. And then now her second son has cancer. Mm-hmm. She's just not doing well. So hold on. Christina, I was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer. I'll be done in September of this year.
Congrats.
Yay!
Best thing here.
Hell yeah.
That's just next month, isn't it?
Yeah.
Damn.
Good for Christina, me. Oh, dear God. September is next month. Anyway, this year's gone by a little fast.
It is.
We're just a little over the first week, but it's August.
Literally, like this year, it started out nice and slow, and it was like great. Things are going amazing. And then Chiron retrograde hit, and then all of a sudden, everything is going wild.
This entire year has been all gas, no brakes.
Yeah, it's been up and down.
Yeah, except for like the early part of it was slower for me, but I think that's because I was enjoying it so much, which is weird. Normally, it's the opposite.
I've gotten so many weird things. Oh yeah, every year does go quicker.
Every year goes quicker, but no, this one started out.
That's the concept of the brain, actually.
Yeah,
the concept of time is due to like it's relative to how much you've lived. So the older you get, the quicker things go because it's a drop in the bucket compared to what you have.
Yes.
Christina, thanks. Okay. Hey, Nico, I wanted to pick your brain on something. Mm-hmm. It's a client, and she comes to me for readings. I do a little bit of candle work, only when it's called for, and I don't really hang out my shingle because it's not what I want to do. I've known these people for a while. The husband flipped a switch, and it's like he became a different person. I had a different client like this somewhat. I told you guys a little bit about it. This one's different though. Different client. I did a candle just to fuck around, okay? Just for the hell of it. To stop all witchcraft sent against them.
Uh-huh.
Now, the husband of hers had always been awesome and everything, all of a sudden flipped a switch. And this was ongoing for a couple years. And he became put down as she became all this other stuff. Just a bad person in general, okay? Wasn't interested in the kids they had. Just really weird. Lit up the candle. He's back to his old ways. He's good. He's fine. He's wanting to run around with the kids. He's loving on her. Boom, boom, boom. And she's like, and we're like, okay. Well, okay. Maybe it was just coincidence. Did a second candle. Worked again. Third candle. Worked again. I'm on my third candle. Okay? I don't know how to take it any further than the candle. What the hell kind of spell could be used to flip a person on and off like that? It's like he is a schizo, man.
So that's either somebody who's really angered somebody to the point that they're actively and continually working on them, which means that you would have to bind the practitioner.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know who the practitioner would be.
Or find their the spell that they've done that they have most likely have DNA in some sort.
Really?
Because that kind of strength. A lot of times you're part of the person.
If you're working somebody when you're working somebody like that, there's almost normally a pattern where it's like, okay, from this time to this time. But if it's like,
it's continuous.
So this person's got to be on their altar, and they're like part of their regular workings is lighting a candle on a jar or something. Would be my guess. Like they're actively feeding this spell like weekly, probably.
See, that's what
daily would be pushing it, but they might be feeding it daily.
They could have induced moon madness.
It could be. My guess would be some kind of a sour jar with liquor in it.
Yeah, that would
Because
hold up
liquor
longer.
will cause confusion and personality changes.
Okay, this dude went from freaking out and screaming red-faced because somebody was in the bathroom too long to being chill. Oh, hey, hi, how you doing? Okay,
Otherwise,
that.
or an in your head candle or in your head effigy would be my other
Or
guess.
emotion amplification.
Yeah.
Also, I'm going to mention this to you guys because I think it's important. The guy, part of how I know these people is, I write and I write scripts and everything like that. And I'm moving all around in the writing space. That's how I know him. And the guy's writing's even different.
I would recommend
much clearer, better, everything, more on point.
Now, of course, it's not always spiritual. It could actually be a mental illness.
Yeah.
Sort.
It only happens when I do the candles. Okay, that's when it clears up. That's
that's the thing is, by doing so, it could be clearing up his own confusion within itself. You might just be clearing a symptom.
I only did it for the witchcraft, nothing else. No health, no nothing.
Against witchcraft.
I
would almost recommend that he does like a regular spiritual bath for like a month straight.
A month? Every day for a month?
Like so you can buy Rue soap or like Florida water soap, like the physical bars, and then shower with them.
Okay.
Or add like Florida water to your shower or to your bath. If you're gonna do the shower, boil a tea kettle on the stove, put it in a bowl with like rosemary, mint, a splash of Florida water, and some basil. Let it cool down a bit, and while you're standing in the shower, pour it from head to toe, and then blot dry. You can strain the herbs out, but I personally don't mind if I'm walking around my house herby. It does not bother me. You can use essential oils for that too, if that's what you have.
Okay, tell me again. Rosemary, mint, what else?
Rosemary, mint, and basil.
Okay, basil.
Yep.
All right.
They smell like food.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'd mind. Honestly, it was getting so bad they were headed towards severe divorce. And I mean, these were people who had been together for a while. And the thing is, they had kids and everything else, or they have kids. But I did the readings. I even asked my guides and everything. Nobody is wanting this guy for themselves. Nobody's wanting the girl. This isn't about romance.
No, it's most likely
it could be somebody's angered, or
could be that they are irritated at the family or the wife in some way.
Okay.
I've seen that too, where I've had issues where somebody attempted to do work on me, couldn't hit me, and it started bouncing through my family.
And there's also a small unlikely thing that could have happened. Some young witches, especially if they're like learning from TikTok specifically, and like not all the great stuff, they don't care their target. They just whatever DNA they can get, they use that, and they may have gotten some hits.
What the hell kind of stupid shit is that?
I've encountered it myself.
That is so dangerous.
That's an amusing thing, though, because they don't understand that it goes both ways. So when you start doing that kind of spell work on somebody, you create a tether back and forth.
Yep.
So if you aren't doing additional spell work to disguise yourself while doing that, it's a direct fire line backwards.
And not all of them are clueless. Some of them are actually
some of them are very, very good at what they do.
What they can.
I've been amazed on TikTok by some of these practitioners where it's like,
why would anybody do
know
that?
what you're doing. Some of them are just, it's fun for them.
This is not a hobby.
For some of them it is, and it's a very dangerous one.
Yep.
Crochet is a good hobby. Painting is a good hobby. Photography.
I would border to say that witchcraft is my hobby, but not in the like angry, scary way.
Exactly.
I like to read and research about it, and like
I like to help people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and help people and teach.
But apparently, I'm born to be a healer. So,
But I'm not over here like that's even far for me. Where like I think some of the worst ones that I've ever done for justice working, I don't work a jar for more than maybe a month at most, and that was only one instance, and then I buried it. I did later go back, pick or dig the jar back up and rework it, but
they
the
could.
dedication to like keep feeding a jar like that is
Yeah.
just
There
like
is one thing they
oof.
could be doing with that. By doing so, creating that those high emotions, especially if it's emotion amplification, they could be a vamp that's specifically tethered and feeding from him, using him like cooking your own food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, would that be the drop in writing, the drop in concentration, almost
Mhm.
looking like really?
That would be any sort of lethargy, but like especially if it's right after an outburst of high emotion, because that's when it's like, oh, time to feed.
Yeah, they pop essentially every time they have an outburst.
No, but from what my client says, a lot more dramatic. I mean, this is a dude that was, hey, we can have a conversation, we'll work any problem out, to door slammer, dramatically walking out of the room, kind of, it's like, okay. And I can say this because I'm a girl, guys. It's like, okay, baby, you on your period all the time? Is you ragging all the time? Because goddamn.
An emotional amplification spell will do that a lot of times. It takes whatever you're feeling and dials it to the max.
And I mean, this person was not.
Because my other thought
was not. Just not.
Is like an emotional version of a get inside your head spell. So you're like actively planning emotions in somebody's head with like an effigy and candles. And like physically putting them in the head in the creation.
And that would actually probably make it to where it's like the outbursts happen when they are recharging the spell.
Yep.
And the weirdest part is this guy doesn't remember a lot of what happens.
What?
It's just the guy doesn't remember a lot of what happens. It's just he can be screaming 1 minute and he's like, what happened?
And it could be taking someone that already has a mental illness and dialing that up.
Oh,
and I do know that.
Amplifying that or transferring it.
Yeah.
If that practitioner suffers from an emotional disorder, and then doing a transfer to alleviate their own,
and that would give them reason. That would
be the reason why you'd be on that spell.
If, for example, if they're manic bipolar, that would they could use that to heal themselves essentially in a way.
And then they would have had to pick somebody that they knew on some level and possibly didn't like to inflict that upon.
That they were able to get the ingredients from.
Yep.
One thing that can be done would be a reflection spell.
Yeah, I was going to ask, with that compact mirror thing.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah,
okay.
Against spell work.
What if he doesn't have a sacred space, though? He's not the type to, really...
Dresser, put it on your nightstand.
I mean,
inside your sock drawer.
But Evil Eyes would help a little.
Yep.
That'd be breaking, but...
This has got to stop.
I don't light my candles over... Once I do the compact spell, I handle it once a week to keep it recharged, but I don't burn any candles on it. It just sits pretty on my altar.
It is.
I mean,
so my question is, does he need to pick out the compact himself?
Old Makeup Compact. I specifically had this one because I thought it was pretty, and then devised a spell that was well, if you're doing based off a mirror box, I'm sitting there okay. So what about a double-sided mirrored compact? That's just a flat mirror box. And then you just put a name slip in it and tell it your petition on the other side. Okay. And compact mirror box. Or you can do it with a single mirror, like a hand mirror upside down. Okay. Leave it face down with the paper facing up.
Okay. So, all right, it would need to be...
Oh, that's nice.
That's pretty. So it would need to be someplace that it wouldn't be disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
Now the wife, she doesn't really practice, but I mean, she has a sacred space. It's more for decoration. Could she do it for him, or does this have to be him?
Yes, you can do it third party.
Okay, so she can do it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Does she just write the guy's name and then his enemies, or
Yeah, the enemies of
the
and then
enemies?
his name. Yeah,
Okay.
the enemies of so and so.
And by
They all
doing so,
will be
she could
returned.
keep it in her sacred space and just keep recharging it. You
Yep.
wouldn't have to worry about it at all.
How
Yep.
do you recharge it?
I recharge mine on the full moon, and then I just put the whole closed compact out on my windowsill. I have a lip on my windowsill,
Okay.
and but you could burn a candle and put the candle on
Selenite.
top of it, selenite. I've also put like 7-day candle jars
Yeah.
and set them on top of my
What color?
compact.
Oh, smart.
I use white, or if I can get a Van candle, I will use a Van to kind of cleanse it off and reset it, because that'll transmute all of the negative energy that is built up in it.
Okay.
But you could smudge it to sage, incense, throw some holy water on it.
Throw some holy water on it. Okay. And so all it is right, the enemies of, and whatever name.
Yep.
Should she do a separate one for both her and the husband and the kids?
I would do separate name papers, but you could put them all in the same compact.
Really?
Oh, that's useful.
Pre-made Van candle? ?
Yes, they do make them. Otherwise, I do have Van powder. I make a Van powder, and then occasionally buy one when I'm out.
Okay.
It's
How much are your Van candles, Nico?
I haven't priced them out. I would have to look and see what the ingredients cost me.
Get back to me, because I mean, this is pretty serious. It's been ongoing for years. She tried everything. They went to all the
Compact
doctors.
people do a lot.
Okay. All right. So
It's the same as your candle, just continuous.
Yeah, because this is essentially long-term return to sender, and it's so you put the names, the enemies of so and so, and then on the other side, may all ill will, harm, or all will, harm, and spell work be returned to sender. And then you can put your amplifier on it if you want to be petty.
Hold on, just one second.
I'm petty.
Okay, so flip side is what now? May all
ill will, witchcraft, and harm be returned to sender.
Harm be returned.
Might be better to say spell work instead of witchcraft, since it's broader.
Spell work. Okay, spell work. And then so the enemies is on top, but the underside is okay. And then what do you use as an amplifier?
For an amplifier on this, I use an obsidian.
Really?
What was it?
Obsidian is what I put on top of them.
Okay.
Put black obsidian on top of the compact when it's closed.
Yep.
Okay. I will let her know, because holy biscuits.
Because if you think about it, put a black mirror on top of another mirror, and the obsidian are known to be protective and reflect energy back on their own.
Holy cow. Okay. Now, in your purview, do you think that this will make whoever it is stop?
It depends on the practitioner. So if it could catch them off guard, but if they're actively doing spell work on this regular of a basis, they probably have a pretty good idea of what they're doing, which means that it may just be ping-ponging back and forth, or they're going to find a new avenue.
And or
if they're really set on going after him, or they'll
if they have a lot of power, they can break the mirror.
Yeah, I was wondering about
but that's what you just check for is the mirror broken?
Yeah.
How do you check?
So if you don't seal your mirror down with wax or glue, you can open it, look at the name papers. If the papers are torn, smudged, wet, replace them, restart it.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I was thinking just the mirror break, but yeah, smudging the papers would work too.
Okay.
It depends on like what element they're working through. So modern witchcraft, people generally work through fire, but you can also do spells through the other elements, and it kind of depends on what their affinity is, what kind of
if they're messing
spells
with
they're
earth, they'll
doing.
break the
Because if you're
barrier.
doing, for me, if I'm doing emotional spells, I'm using water, and I'm probably for something like that, I would use stagnant water.
Yeah.
And I would essentially make war water and drop their name in it with the nastiest
Yeah, briniest shit. Okay.
swamp water you can find, off the ditch, side of the
Water,
road,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So how often should she be checking this mirror?
I check mine once a month.
Once a
Yeah,
month.
that's a good call.
Okay.
So
And
Or,
then
or
on
if
the
something,
full moon.
if it starts coming back.
Yeah. If you start seeing those behaviors come back,
she comes
or
down, or it comes to me. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So
And if it is sealed, you can shake it to see if you hear the glass moving, because that means the mirror shatters.
well, I don't think I'm going to tell her to seal it. Just now, when she opens it up to check it every month, can she just close it back up and put it back on
Yep.
the altar?
Yep.
Whatever you want to call it. Okay. And then you want to light a candle by it or on it once a month. Is that correct?
Yep. So I'll either have my compact here and then candles sitting up here like it's a table,
Okay.
in front of it, or I'll just put a votive candle and a holder right on top of this to charge.
Okay. Okay. Won't the heat break the glass inside?
I use glass jar candles for these.
Okay. All right.
So, but
Now,
mine's
does
a
it-
metal compact, so that may
Yeah.
differ if you're using a plastic base.
All right. I'm probably going to tell her to try for a metal, just cause. And then any specific metal color?
Mine's gold, but I think I've had
Black.
people do it with an old
Black, blue,
Maybelline
maybe.
black, the plastic powder puffs. If it's a one-sided mirrored compact, you want the name paper facing towards the mirror.
Okay.
So the enemies of facing towards the mirror.
Okay. And then you actually put the candle on top of it. Does it have to be a tall 7-day, or can it be, votive thingy?
You can do. I have 3-hour Shabbos candles that I burn on them, or if
How you
something's
doing there, Cass?
really crazy
Taking the brace
going
off for a
on,
minute because it's starting
I'll do
tension.
7 days. But
Okay.
it kind of depends on what's going on and how much oomph do I want.
Okay. And can you do a black 7-day candle, or is it white? Pretty much white.
White's universal for me, but you could use black. I almost exclusively use white candles in spell work.
Okay.
Because folk magic predated a lot of the newer candle colors.
Yeah.
So 90% of the stuff is light candle, white candle, go get a blessed church candle, and they're all white. But I use colored candles too, depending on what I have available. But
Okay, get your 7-day, put it on the thing once a month at the full moon.
That would be a good time to check it too.
Okay.
Yep. That's
Check it,
generally what I do
recharge
is
it,
I check it and then recharge it.
Okay. Perfect.
Because it's a perfect time to redo the spell if you need it.
Okay. All right. So should I have her put any stuff in it to make them to really discourage their ass?
You could use
Actually, no, even better. How the hell do you stop somebody like this from doing anything ever again? Because no more.
You bind them. You
This
cut them
one-
off from source.
How?
And metal.
If you have the problem is finding out who did it.
Nobody's
but once,
gonna know. I mean,
that gets the tricky part. Normally, when I've had to bind somebody like that, I know who it is, and then I'll always put that clause in. If I'm wrong, may this not work.
Yeah.
But it's there's some pretty good ones in a lot of Wiccan books that it's the binding from harm spell, but you're changing your wording of this isn't like a temporary bind, it's I am removing your power and your ability to practice. I am removing your ties from all spirits and gods. May they turn their backs upon you.
Damn.
I've only done this once, but
You know what? I don't know if she's going to go in for the binding, but it might be something I might look into because this is horrible, guys.
yeah.
You're basically
Otherwise, preventions and protections are going to be her best bet, or like regular curse breaking.
So
Like she may be doing curse breaking on like a regular basis, whether that's once a week, once a month. But
well, I'm going to try with this. I'm going to try this. Have her try it.
yeah,
and get
it
back to you
seems
guys.
to make it better, but not gone. Then most likely it was an amplification of any mental illness that he already has.
And then do cleansings on everything and like protections, including pets, kids, your car, your house.
Okay.
Because
make a witch jar.
What?
Make a witch jar.
Make a witch's bottle.
Yeah.
Which is essentially urine or nail clippings, hair. You can mint the urine if you want, and then thorns, broken glass, nails, nettles, Spanish moss or pine needles.
So I have a basic one here that I can pull up.
And then
doesn't that only work if you have stuff of the witch?
No, it's your stuff.
It's a protection of your own home.
Yeah,
it's like what I made for the shop, but the one I made for the shop was specialized.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're putting your tag locks in the jar with things to trap spirits and energy, and then you bury that on the edge of your property.
It's like barbed wire for your home.
Things hit that before they would ever come to your door.
Yeah.
Or you bury it at your front door in some cases.
So yeah, wormwood, thistle, nettles, vinegar, salt, urine, broken glass, nails, thorns, and steel wool. And then, do you want the rest of the description? Like how to do it?
No, I'm actually going to have you guys help me out with it because this is way over my head. Okay.
Yeah, I can show you because I have.
This is outside my pay grade.
I have my initial Book of Shadows that I work from, and then I have my grimoire, and I can show you what, like the one I did for the shop, just to show you what kind of things you can change about it.
Because you can change a lot, or like tailor them to guard against certain things too.
Yep.
They are. I mean, guys. One thing I have been incredibly disappointed with is how petty people in the metaphysical and supernatural communities are.
They can be. They really can.
I mean,
I won't lie and say that I'm
kind
not
of
petty. I do a lot of petty work and like justice work, but I try to gear it towards the good side.
But you don't just go willy-nilly cursing people.
No. And I always put the clauses in that so whenever I have to do that kind of work, because people lie and will try to get you to do spell work for ulterior motives, that I always put clauses in my spell work when I do that if I've been hired under false pretenses or that this is not true, may it return to the person that hired me.
Yeah.
Instead.
Christina, these are protection spells.
Yeah, they're kind of nasty.
Barbie, if you call out into the spirits but have nothing for them to do, what will happen?
It depends on the spirit.
Yeah,
because sometimes if they don't have a job, they leave. Other times, they start causing havoc. Which one of my favorite things that a lot of modern witches do is call the corners and invite a bunch of elementals and fairies into their house and then forget to dismiss them by releasing them. and then they have a fairy problem, and things start disappearing in their house.
Yes.
And it's one of my favorites
That's a
because,
major part of breaking the circle. What?
but not every tradition releases them, and not
Oh.
every tradition calls.
I mean, if they work, then good. Lol, that's from Christina. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, when you start breaking out the urine is when people start questioning what I'm doing.
Right.
Well, it's just really sad that it has to come to this, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as for Burmese, the 3 magical number in witchcraft, most numbers have some more magical significance. So it's yes, they all do. Numerology.
In Norse mythology, 9 is our big number.
Yeah.
Really?
9 is a really popular number.
The 9 realms.
The 9 realms. You have the 9 wives of, or the 9 mothers of Heimdall.
The 9 mothers. Wow.
Yeah, they each gave birth to a part of him and built him like a Lego figure.
Yeah, he's the Heimdall's an interesting one. He's kind of one of my favorites.
Okay, hold on.
Just see what that
Nicole, fairies and elementals like me. Yes, they do love her. They just love her ass like so much.
But yeah, you'll see, like, for spells, may this return times 3, times 9, 100-fold. I've seen 7-fold, 14-fold. And, like, it's just, like, how fed up you are with a situation. And different traditions have different
Guys, what's
amplifiers.
the significance of 42 times? I'm going to ask. 42.
42's the life.
I know. It's the meaning of life, but 42 or 47 times. What's the significance?
47, I don't know, except for that it's a prime number. So that might be why. 42.
But that goes down to 2 in numerology.
47.
Yeah.
47.
Because you combine the 2 numbers and then you break them down to a single. Oh, no, it'd be 11, which would be a master.
So what would that mean?
Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, and then 6.
Like let's say you were doing a return candle, and you're like, okay, yeah, let's do 4 times, whatever. And your guys are like 47. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Because it breaks down in numerology to 11, which is the bridge between physical and spiritual.
Oh, that would be like a hit them on their bond.
Hit them on their, what do you mean?
Like their bond between their spirits and them.
Yeah.
Like their connection to their gods, essentially.
Okay.
Which like not so much cut them off, but attack that.
Okay.
Like if they attack you, it goes back and attacks their bond.
Because I've done that before, where I, knowing somebody was a practitioner and knowing what pantheon they were in, petitioned their gods to turn their back upon them. Which, if that's up to them if they do it, but
well, that's a petition to the gods, but like the attacking the bond would be more like deafening someone.
Yeah. No, I did that once where I had a problem child that kept wanting to invade my house on a spiritual level.
Wow. Yeah.
And when you she wasn't asking, she just kept showing up, and I tried to talk to her about it and be like, hey, I don't really appreciate this, and you should probably stop before you get into something you shouldn't have. And I refuse to be responsible for what you're going to encounter. Because my house spirits get kind of protective, and I'm not. They're sentient beings. If they smack you, I am not stopping them.
Well,
and
I was really surprised. There was a client that I had, and they were experiencing a lot of spiritual invasion. And my guides let me drop down and see what it would be like to invade their home. Guys, there's no way you could pay me enough to cross this threshold.
Yeah. Sometimes people are just way too curious.
No, think of like huge spiders hanging down and cobwebs and shit, like really man-eating ones. I'm like, you could not pay me. There's not enough hazard pay for me to go there. And my guys are like, yeah.
I know practitioners that actively create baneful wards against like unwillful entry on like the astral plane into their spaces, like cobwebs. Like you're gonna get stuck there.
Yeah.
I have
why would
a
you chance
familiar
it?
setup for mine, and it's set up so that like if you've been given the pass, great, you're fine. If you stumbled here on accident, you're fine. If you came here with the wrong intentions and mean me harm, you will meet the very, very angry spirits. And they will escort you back to where you came from.
And
after the whoop ass, right?
Yeah.
Christina, oh my god, yep. But I mean,
otherwise, Rowan, if you can get a hold of Rowan berries and elderberries strung up in a garland on your windows protects against astral travelers.
Okay.
But Rowan berries are kind of difficult to get.
On Windows. Okay. Cool. Good info. All right, y'all. Loves to you all, but I think I'm going to kill it because I'm still hungry. That one burger did not do the trick. That's another thing. After the energy suck, I need a lot of meat, like red meat.
Yep, that's because of the iron.
You got to build back up.
Oh, God. Okay. Nicole, one more question. Is that the same as mash?
Rowan? No, Rowan's a different tree.
Okay. Honestly, oysters don't even sound good to me right now, Cass. Not a lot sounds good. I'm amazed I could get down the burger. I feel
then it's mostly not iron, then it's probably something else. It's some other part of it. Probably the protein then.
But if you find rowan trees, you're probably going to find them in an old cemetery, which is where they're historically normally found. They're used to pin the dead in place.
Yep.
Seriously?
Yep. That's why I have a rowan wand, is that it's used in like necromancy work, so when you're working with spirits to keep them where they're at.
Rowan.
So it's because mountain ash is a good substitute for rowan a lot of times, but it's not the same.
Nicole said, I've heard it called rowan too. Christina, this was fun, everyone, and see you all soon. Thank you, Christina, for dropping by. Okay, but question. If somebody lived by a crossroads and they planted a rowan tree on the corner, would that help?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would help find that crossroad.
You can also make a like a front door decoration out of rowan sticks, like in a wreath. I have a pentacle made out of rowan sticks.
That's pretty cool.
That sits on my front door, and it's a bundle of rowan protects from ill will, harm, and dread.
Okay. All right. And then the rowan, well, could I just do rowan wood?
Yeah. My door's rowan sticks.
Okay, cool.
You could probably... I've seen them on Etsy. You can buy rowan trimmings. They're like straight pieces for wands. But yeah, you can...
That was one of the options for the wands I got, but I got the ash one.
Hey, you know what?
I like ash too.
I'm a very resourceful girl, and I love research, and I love digging. It's actually one of my better traits. If you give me something, whether it's a question or something to look for, I will find it.
Yep. I mean, you also consult everyone like you do with us here. So it's
Yeah. So dig. What?
Compiling.
Yes, pretty much. Always. All right. Nico, I already asked you this. Thor, do you want to do the weekly forecast? Not this week coming up because I'm going to ask Nico, but the next week?
Sure.
Okay.
Just remind me.
Okay. And then this Friday, I'm doing a live reading online with Psychic Jeff. He and I are co-doing it. It's a ticketed event and everything. Would you be interested in doing something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, basically we'd split up the money, because
especially with my living situation right now.
But it's going to be online only. So you're going to be at home. I'm going to be at home, and yeah. The audience will never know if we're not wearing pants.
I get up too often for that, so I have to wear pants.
I don't get up. That's why. No, I'm teasing. I'm wearing pants, guys. I promise.
She came in with pants on. We saw it.
Nico, are you wearing pants? You have not gotten up this entire time. Wait, I don't want to know.
Yes, I did. I did get up.
Oh, okay.
And I am wearing gym shorts. Yes.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I'm wearing shorts, so.
Yeah. I'm wearing my tie-dye shorts. They make me happy. Anyways.
I literally got dressed just for this.
Nice. All right, babe. Love to you all. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm going to speak with my client and we're going to get together with this, but if she has more problems, I'm probably going to be reaching out to you guys again because this is pretty scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's always scary when somebody starts flipping up and down the emotional spectrum and you're like, help!
I'm just glad that I'm at a point where I can help with more things now.
Yeah.
Because when we first met, I was so insecure with all the stuff I can do.
Oh my gosh. I sensed the insecurity, but I wasn't sure what it was about. And like I said, I was not in a good place for anything. I'm just,
I was like, I felt like I was very much felt like a baby witch. But
really,
looking back at it, I'm like, I was doing more than I realized.
You never struck me as a baby witch. Well, it might also have been too because you had just recently moved to the area. And that lends a lot of fish out of water insecurity.
And that was part of it. And that, like, the not seeing the ley line really scared me.
The ley line was fucked up, okay, guys? I'm sorry, but it was a mess, a train wreck.
It was so dark I couldn't see it and dried up in so many spots that I just I didn't know what to do.
When I would walk to the shop, Arthur and I taught him to regularly consult that tree that was along the route. We're like, okay, what's going on? And there were times when that thing would be completely black inside because it's pulling energy off of everything. I'm like, okay, buddy, we got to get this fixed, But it was really bad, and it was done on purpose here, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. It's just insane. Okay, I'm just going to label this the age of insanity and let it go at that.
That's why I do what I can to help it.
Yeah, thank you. And Antoinette's doing what she can. He even started praying over some of the ley lines. And it helped.
We still need to see about putting a stake into that little blocked one by the shop.
I still have to go get a stake.
Yeah.
I've been a little bit hamstrung with some stuff lately, and most of it's to do with the shop. So.
Oh, I get it, and that's why I help where I can.
Thank you.
Anytime you need me, I'm normally not doing shit. Or if I am, I'll let you know.
Okay. I was gonna say, well,
I know that you worry about my health, and it is a worry. But
look around for an iron stake for me because I've got more shit with the shop. It's things are getting wonkier. So
go walk the railroad track.
Yeah.
Like a railroad spike would work somewhat, or a thing of rebar maybe, but you'd have to be careful with that one.
Yeah,
you want to baptize them in
True. Yeah.
Baptize them in Florida water, light it on fire, and then douse it in your protective or deterrent herbs. So like chili powders, black salts, exorcism herbs.
This is not so much because we have I have protection on the ley line there.
Maybe you're trying to disrupt the negativity. So
this one, it's not so much that it has negativity; it's just stopped. It literally I can see like the path where it used to take, and I can see it like come back up on the other side, but it's literally like it comes and then just shuts off.
Then what about setting up a portal stone? So like creating like a stepping stone with a crystal grid in it to amplify?
No. Question: could it have been done on purpose?
It could have.
Okay. Could it have been done after the building's original owner vacated?
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Because I don't look. I've been around that
If
area.
that building was meant to be a nexus.
Well, but the thing is, the land right across from it, no business thrives, nothing. And I watched personally how hard some of these business owners put out. That land across from it, that it's the car wash is now going up on. No
It's
business.
empty.
No
Could
business has
be
ever thrived.
angry land
It
spirit,
doesn't cross over
or
that hill.
Okay.
angry land spirits, or cursed land.
And that's what I've been wondering, because the original hair salon stayed there for years upon years upon years. The guy built it. Okay, he designed every inch of it and built it. But since then, everybody's had a rough go. Now, I will tell you, my landlord and landlady, they don't lend the correct energy to the place, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, that's right when they came in.
Okay, yeah, you felt that. That's right, you were there. Okay.
I went
That
straight for the hematite.
well, by the way, no. After my landlord came in, my business dropped for a full week.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, the energy is not.
It's
I'm
not
not gonna-
intentional, but
No, it's not intentional, but it's just what they have. Okay.
Yeah, just the baggage
Yeah.
they carry on them.
exactly that's exactly what it was. Because
And
their worries and concerns overriding everything.
their name is on the deed. And I've watched people come in, and their attitude is like mine was when dealing with my original landlord. And I'm like, guys, hello, hi, it's me. Come on. There's a lot of difference here. All right, talk to me. What's going on? And it takes a little bit for people to come in and be like, oh, well, yeah, that makes more sense. And it's like, yeah. So,
But that land across where that car wash is going up and everything, there's no ley lines there at all.
no, but what I'm wondering is if both the lands are connected. Look at how much trouble the building right next to me has had trying to sell.
Are you talking about the one opposite the vet?
There's the vet, there's me, and then there's that little building.
Yeah.
With the lady whose daughter drives by there 7 times a day to make sure nobody's parking there.
So that's the thing, is that is a where the ley line is and where it stops.
Okay. In her property?
Just past it.
Okay. And then there's a lot of trouble over in the apartments right next to that. I mean, there is some skank nasty energy.
It doesn't go to the apartments that I can see. It kind of like leans out across the road and then keeps going that way, kind of slowly migrating to the other side of the road.
Okay. See, in a way, Cass, well, Cass and Nico both, I wish you had met the one chick that used to volunteer at the shop. She was a Capricorn Ox. Well, she is a Capricorn Ox. God damn, she could manifest anything. The problem was she constantly manifested for dark. She manifested depression, misery. You could feel that shit all the way to the road. And I'm like, baby, please, for the love of God, come on. No, I will put Care Bears on constantly. Stop.
So I have a friend who I'm heavily convinced that she is Autumn Court Fae,
Okay.
like bloodline at least.
Okay.
She can manifest. She doesn't intentionally do it,
Yeah.
but she has a lot of power. There's a lot of power there. But the downside is when she does it,
Yeah.
it borrows from the future.
You told me about that. That's dangerous shit.
Yeah.
No, and this chick, she didn't borrow from anything. She was just that much of a little powerhouse. But she was always, it was depressive, anxious, anxiety-driven energy. And I'm just like, no.
You got to be careful manifesting, because you'll get
You're messing with
exactly
the
what you
reality.
want, and then sometimes the spirits that are carrying it just, you want to break, and then, oops, I broke my knee. That happened to my mom. She told her spirits, I need a break. There's too much stuff going on. I need a break. Tripped and fell over a rug in the grocery store, broke her knee.
Yep.
She
It's
got a
just like
break.
a genie. You have to be very specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I was wondering, could she have been tapping into the line too to help manifest?
Possibly.
Yeah. I mean, I use the ley lines myself for my readings a lot of times.
Wow, that's I would not go that far, babe. I mean,
So-
yeah, you play with energy all the time, but I would not be tapping into them around here, at least not yet.
So that's the thing, though. Remember, I'm a filter.
Yeah,
I bring the energy through me and make
But-
it clean.
you're still a human filter.
Yeah.
That
I've found no issue with it so far, and it's been pretty good.
all right,
It
please.
just
be
helps me
careful,
keep from depleting myself.
though. Okay.
I say that's like swimming in the deep end with a current.
But
Yeah.
I've been doing that for half my life.
Oh, never mind. We're good. I thought this was something new. Okay.
No, I've been like working with ley lines before I even realized that I was pagan.
Okay. No, I knew one chick, and she loved storm magic work. She loved storm working, and she didn't call it magic. It was just energy.
They're fun.
She would actually step out in the middle of a lightning storm, and she'd suck out the energy out of the lightning strikes.
Yep.
Mhm. I actually feel
Yeah.
it sometimes. It's like
Yep.
tingly. It's fun.
But you got to be careful with it.
It's
Mhm.
chaotic.
It's a very chaotic energy, and it can be very powerful.
It
But-
makes my ADHD go into overdrive.
I bet.
I love doing spell work during thunderstorms because the atmosphere is so charged.
Yeah.
I will tell you, it is really, 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 really nice. It's just nice to be out there in it. Oh, yeah. Snowstorms, thunderstorms.
That's why the tornadoes are irritating to me, is because it's
They
like
have a weird
there's a
energy.
storm going on, and I can't be out in it.
Well, this last one was fucking weird.
Yeah, the last one,
It was, yeah.
No,
it was calm, and then like just straight 90-mile-an-hour winds, and we went down. Our power dropped, and I went down in the basement with my husband, and you just hear the wood creaking, and then heard the wood creak, thump, and then go run upstairs to go see what happened, and then it's not the house. Good, go back downstairs, and then I heard it on the back porch, and oh god,
last two
that
were
one-
fucked. Nicole, yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah,
really were.
that one got us good.
Oh,
I had half a walnut tree come down on my back porch, and I could see it from under the porch from the basement, went up to my kitchen windows, and it's just leaves out of my kitchen
Hey.
windows. And I was
And
like,
you're like-
oh no. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, it's on the roof. It wasn't, but I had to go around the front of my house to go look at it because it was over my back door.
yeah, it was.
And from it, luckily it hit the railing and took out the rail on the porch, but that's what stopped it from going through my kitchen.
Damn. So
Your
limited
angels
luck
were working
within
overtime.
Yeah.
the chaos.
Or my physical protections on the house stop at the border of the physical house,
Yeah.
and now I'm convinced I need to move them back about 20 feet
Yup.
because we can just miss the house and the cars entirely.
Though it is difficult to keep those wards up without a physical barrier to enact on.
I railroad spiked it.
Oh, there
The
you go.
four
Yeah.
corners of the house. Mhm. They're on the physical foundation. I have railroad
Nice.
spikes on the four corners of it, and then
Yeah,
my
that
house
looks-
is aligned east to west. So I have
Oh.
mine are technically in the split directions. So in the northeast, southeast, and then the opposite.
You'd think that would help protect you from air and water.
I would hope, but I mean, every time that I've had something like a huge storm bring a tree down, it's never come down on the house. It's always fallen away, besides the one that hit my porch. But that one stopped before it did damage to the physical house.
Yeah. That's why it's important to protect your place.
And then I have probably a 20-foot chunk of tree suspended by another tree branch in my backyard.
Fun shit.
I got a pole saw to get it down, but
Oh, man.
we're not mowing the backyard until it comes down.
Yep.
Because I don't want... That's a time bomb.
Yep. You got yourself a little tree of Damocles.
Mm-hmm.
No, the tornado, I was doing some looking in. I don't, if it was 100% natural, I do believe it was a little bit messed with.
I think it was probably charged, yeah. Because it felt bigger than it was supposed to be.
Even a lot of the metaphysical workers around here that I actually speak with, they were like, okay, that was fucking weird. I don't know what the fuck that was. I've been in Iowa all my life. That was fucking weird.
Wow.
You know.
And it was like it was charged up really quick.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, and what I was wondering, and Nicole and I were batting this back and forth, we wonder if somebody did something and then lost control of it.
because I was almost thinking there's an energy technique where you clear a house by creating a spiral vacuum from like the bottom level of the house. And if you're upstairs, you can feel the whole house like spin.
Oh, yeah,
and
no.
I could see somebody like starting one of those and it just goes up.
It's like,
You got the right conditions and the bad circumstance and it just takes off.
well, and that's one of the things about dark ley lines, funkified ley lines. All the spells you do, no matter if they're good or bad, they're all going to go wee. They're going to go crossways. So
it's like somebody's put a giant hog glass on top of the whole ley line,
which is bad. So
that's the chaos.
I've been focusing
chaos
on clean.
Or
chaos.
Ooh.
Absolute chaos.
Do you have a lot of iron in the water?
I don't know. I don't even know how to test for it. Hold on.
Because
hard water. I know we have hard water.
No, there's a good amount of arsenic in one side of the town, and then on the other side, it's
because if you have a bunch of rusty piping, just think of the town built on a giant pot of war water.
What?
Like if steel piping,
Mm-hmm.
rusty steel piping, and you have an entire town built on war water.
More water.
War water.
Oh God.
Mercury water.
I really hope not. Nicole Ewing.
That was it. Mercury.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because you technically, the entire town sits on mercury water, so.
It's not the entire town. It's about half of it. The other side's arsenic.
Enough.
But they're manageable, healthy levels. It says.
Well, I will tell you guys, I can't drink the tap water here anymore. I get violently ill.
That's probably why.
Yeah, that might be it. Nicole Ewing, some of the trees look like a giant hand chopped their heads off.
Yeah, that's how the one in my backyard looked, and then it like literally the tree's like leveled halfway off.
I hope nobody called like a wind elemental or something, and then I hope they didn't call it and lose control of it, because that would suck.
Or Gene.
Yeah, that would suck.
I mean, the other way you could do that would be call the corners but leave it unbalanced, so you call water and air, like the elemental gates, and then work your spell through one side to the other.
People, summoning, magic, sour jars are not hobbies. Ever.
Yeah, and especially if it's in a free or something like that.
Oh. Yeah.
Pick up the violin or something. Jesus. Seriously.
Annoy your neighbors in that way.
Yes, please. For the love of God, I will take violin any day. I will take bagpipes.
A good one to look into, though, is there's I don't want to call it a spell because it's not really a spell, but there's a magic technique called cutting the air or cutting the winds. You should look into it. There's a couple ways to do it. The Bruhidia method is to literally take a knife while praying, and then you go outside and start cutting like in the air at the direction of the wind to lessen the wind coming.
Yeah, it splits it, and it can help prevent tornadoes.
Ours is to draw a circle in the ground in front of the property you want to protect with a knife, and then you put the knife blade side out facing the wind.
Yep.
And leave that until the storm ends. Yeah. And it's supposed to either move the storm away from your property or split it past you.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Although I feel sorry for your neighbors. Jesus. It's bad. Hope you don't like any of the neighbors around you.
I actually saw someone, they built a device once. It was essentially they took a saw blade and bent it. Well, two of them, and so that was like in a U shape with the blade going towards the center. So it made a giant returning blade.
Ooh.
Hey, Cass, what just happened? Do you have like a color changing lamp on?
You just went orange.
Yeah.
I don't. It's my camera is auto correcting for color.
Oh, okay. That was interesting.
So like now it's getting blue.
But
Yeah.
your walls are white.
Yep.
So
They
what
look yellow.
is it? So is it trying? The only thing I can think of sounds mean, but is it trying to say that you're pale enough that it thinks you're lighter than the wall and trying to color correct
It
you?
was how I stepped back and it started getting more like less yellow.
The beacons have been lit! Gondor calls for aid! Sorry.
See, now it's darker and darkening to yellow.
We're good. Yep.
It thinks I'm too white.
I'm gonna tell my husband
You
that.
should be able to counteract that by putting a
No.
white object in your foreground.
No, don't counteract it. This is awesome. We'll tell people it's your magical aura.
Well, that's actually funny considering when I did the astral scrying and all that, most of the energy I'd see was a shade of yellow.
Interesting.
Let's say you're like yellowy green,
Which is funny because I hate yellow.
but like
Have you listened to Solar Plexus singing bowls?
What?
Have you listened to the Solar Plexus singing bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Does it cause you any discomfort?
Not too much.
Okay.
Like a little bit, but
The color you dislike the most is the chakra that needs the most work.
that actually for me is my sacral chakra.
Okay. So how do you feel about orange? Orange, peach, tangerine.
If it leans towards yellow, not as big on it, but the more fluorescent it is, I love it.
Okay. I was going to say, because yellow is solar plexus, and that's all about self-esteem, shirking off other people's expectations of you. Am I getting anywhere? Anyway.
it also deals with your sense of self and creativity.
Yep. Well, the sacral is more
That
about
would
creativity.
make sense. I don't hate yellow as much as I used to.
Mm-hmm. And I bet you the more you come out, the more you go to therapy, the more you husk everything out, the more it's going to come back.
No, it was literally once I transitioned, I
Okay.
started liking some yellows.
Yep.
That
Then
makes
that-
sense because that's the core of like your will and your identity.
Believe it or not, once you learn how to read this stuff, you can sit there in public and literally read people by the clothes they wear.
Oh yeah, it's so fun.
Mm-hmm. I taught my husband how to do this, and he scares the shit out of some of my customers, especially the ones that are being bratty. He's like, dude. And they're like, oh, I feel so called out. I'm like, good job.
One of my favorites is, why'd you choose that color today? Like, why did you need and then correspond whatever color they're wearing to that emotional state? So it's like you're wearing blue. You really need some calm today. Like, things going okay?
Oh my God, that's so mean.
What does purple mean? Considering I'm always wearing purple.
Purple's spirituality, royalty, higher connection. It can be. It depends on the shade of purple. Lighter purples are kind of along in the blue spectrum where they're kind of calming. I think of like lavender, like tranquil, peaceful. Royal purples are you're like super spiritual.
Oh, it's so funny. Once I accepted that I love purple is when I started my spiritual journey.
Uh-huh. Nico, what colors are you wearing? I see the black and I see the teal.
So it's
Batman.
Okay.
Yellow, teal, and then my shorts are teal and white.
Okay. Teal and white. That's a teal. So
That's
throat
cool.
chakra. Getting it to work. Black.
Yep.
Good for
Grounded,
communication
boundaries.
session, yeah.
And then amber for calmness and
Amber because it's
energy
awesome.
transmutation. I love amber.
And joy of life. Amber is a really huge joy of life stone.
It's really good for energy workers because it helps with the filter, and it is a amplifier of life force energy. So if I'm not using Reiki, I use my own life force energy to heal other people.
Quick
So
question. Would it be a good one for Thor, considering psychic vamp and constantly working with energy?
That's how I heal myself.
Probably would. But it's also really good for people with mental health issues because amber's supposed. It helps with mental health issues, like depression, anxiety.
Which has been rough.
They used to use, or they still use it for baby teething necklaces, which I hate. Is the one use that I don't like amber for. Never put a thing on a baby's neck.
No.
Hang it on top of their crib.
Yes.
Stuff it inside their pillow. Fine. Yeah, but don't leave things on a baby's neck.
No. A lot of people would come to the shop expecting me to have them, and I'm like, no, I just no way, no.
I would rather you go dig up a mercury dime and go tie it in their baby blanket.
Ew, no. Okay, do you guys remember those things where people would literally put a neck floaty on babies and put them in the water?
Yep.
That's fucking nuts. I mean,
what if they flip over?
No, a lot of kids did flip over.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. Anyway, some people should not be parents. Some people should not breed. We should cut down on the number of people allowed to have children.
That's the reason why when my doctor asked me, like, the HRT is going to probably make you sterile. Are you okay with that? I'm like, yeah. I have enough medical problems. I don't need to spread it.
No.
I'm in the same boat where I told my doctors, like, well, you carry all these genetic health problems. And I was like, yeah, I'm not passing them on.
Yep, exactly. I'd rather adopt.
I will adopt, I will foster, but I will, or will use my husband as the donor because everything I have is genetic, and I'm not passing that on to a kid.
Yep.
And when you think about it with a more spiritual mindset, you don't really have to worry about passing on your genetics because everything's spiritual anyway.
Yep.
Yeah. And the act of adoption on a spiritual level fuses your family with their biological family.
Really?
So you're giving them a pool of ancestors twice as large.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Because you can call on, if you know your biological family, you can work with their ancestors or work with them as unknown ancestors, and then work with your adoptive family as your known ancestors.
So cool. Nicole Ewing, not sharing mine either. Okay. And ironically, you guys are ones I would trust more with kids. So this is sad.
So I didn't, like, they weren't mine, but I was a step-in dad for my ex and her kids. And while I'm mostly good with kids and like help out a lot, the stress of it sends my depression and anxiety up so far that I become someone I don't like being.
I get it.
So,
I like being the chaotic uncle where you hype them up on sugar and give them really loud toys and send them back home. It's my favorite.
So I was constantly getting overstimulated, and it was just too much.
No, I get it.
And they don't deserve that. They deserve better.
Although I have to say, Thor, I know your Chinese zodiac sign is the rooster, so it reminds me of like a chicken with a bunch of little baby chicks going, nope, this way, this way, this way, this way, no, this way. This way.
Exactly. Yeah. That's exactly how it
was. You over there, get over here.
Hurting.
Well, yeah, hurting cats. Anyway.
Yeah, more like hurting puppies.
Yeah.
Squirrels at a rave.
Squirrels
Yeah.
at a rave. Oh man, that's awesome.
Oh.
All right, y'all. I'm dying. Cass looks like he's about ready to drop out of the chair. Nico, you've been yawning. Nico, this Sunday night, 8:30, weekly update or weekly forecast. Swanks. I will send you a thing. You do the rune readings. I put your chart of prices up. We be good.
Sounds good.
All right. Love to you all. Thanks for coming on. And then next Thursday is our Baby Witch Q&A. I'm going to call it something else because Baby Witch sounds a little weird to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Hey, kitty cat. All right. Get some rest, guys. I've got to hop off of here. I am dead. Me too.
Yep. Drink of the ritual water.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Entry Witch Q&A.
Entry Witch. Basic Wicca Q&A.
Yeah.
Basic Wicca Q&A. Baby Witch sounds weird.
Yeah, it's always slightly derogatory.
It is. Even though I called myself it for a long time.
Yeah.
You too. Jeez.
All right. Good night, Nico.
Good night.
Good night, Cass.
Good night.
All righty.
Let me know if you ever need me at the shop, or if you just would like me to come and hang out.
I am. Just hang out right there for just a second, okay? Hold on. I'm gonna close this off real quick. We are going to go Psychic RoundTable outro.